What's going on, guys? Victoria Langford, your credit solutionist, lead debt elimination strategist over at mycreditcall.com, and friend to you who want to get financially stable and secure your financial future today. Thank you guys for everybody coming in tonight. You saw the title. We're going to be talking about millions of jobless men giving up on the rat race. Many of these men are in prime working years. That's 25 to 54. Now, I'm not the career expert, but I know a few. One who is a friend of the channel, by the way, by the name of Mentor Shelly, my friend and co-host. We didn't see you last night, but we're seeing you tonight, so we got to make up for lost time, y'all. So if you're part of the replay gang, let us know in the chat. If you're here right now, let us know where you're watching from. But tonight we're going to have a conversation about it. Is it mental health? Is it the economy? What is it? These men aren't working, and I have questions as a credit solutionist. Now, I'm going to bring my friend up to the stage here in just a second. I want you guys to put your hands together for my girl, Mentor Shelly. Mentor Shelly, I got to find the clapping before I let you on. Hold on, girlfriend. We're still learning. But here's my girl, Mentor Shelly. We're going to have a conversation with a career coach. She knows what's going on in this industry. So let's bring her up here. What's poppin', Mentor Shelly?
Hey guys, how you doing tonight? Hello, everybody that's coming into the stream. If you are here, if you know somebody that fits that category.
We're still learning here. Can you guys hear me? I don't know if my audio is even on. I probably did that whole thing and nobody even heard me.
Nah, we heard you.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, Shelly, okay, so it's been a long time coming. I wanted to talk to you about this probably since our last live stream last week, where we talked about Gen Z just not being motivated and really just having a bad reputation in the workforce right now. Nobody wants to hire them. They're they get hired, then they get fired. People are just trying to avoid them like the plague. And we started talking about maybe breaking it down a little bit, not just Gen Z men and women, but we wanted to focus on a particular group of Gen Z. And we ended our last show with that. And I wanted to have a continuation because I think it's a very important topic because for obvious reasons, we'll talk about it in my business. I deal with a lot of these people. And I think that you do as well as a career coach. So before we jump into that and how just lack of career, lack of focus, lack of finance is affecting men of all ages right now. I wanted you to go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us what you do and who you are and how you can help in this conversation.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Sure.
I am Mentor Shelly, the Dream Career Coach. I want to make sure that you become a better version of yourself professionally. I just don't say those words. I do my ever dear best to help you become that in whatever way, shape, or form that I can. I do offer consultations on a few important things, of course, career strategy being one of them, interview and salary negotiation coaching, and resume revisions as well. I do also have for the young men that are just entering into the job market, which would be known as Gen Zs or Gen Alpha. I'm not sure there's another name for them. That really, if you're looking for the roadmap to set yourself up career-wise, then go ahead and grab the book From Clueless Teenager to Consummate Professional, 7 Steps to Getting the Career and the Economic Life You Want. I'm a big believer of making sure you carve out your own personal economy. And this is the book to help you get set up. This was the book that I needed when I was just entering the job market as a teenager / young adult, and I had no roadmap. I had to be baptized by fire. So this book is for you that are just entering the job market, not sure what to do next or how to do it. This is the book for you. I want to make sure that you understand that I also have, I'm also on YouTube. I am focusing right now on the extrad wives. They are in desperate need for a career coach as far as some of the needs that they have. They're re-entering the job market when they may not have any experience or they had little experience from 5 to 10 years ago. But we're not going to focus on them tonight. We're focusing on the young men and in what ways that we can help either get them out of this rut or help them provide solutions to being able to become more productive in the job market and in society as a whole, and to make sure that they are truly working to build their own personal economy. Back to you, Victor.
Great. Wonderfully said. Wonderfully said there. So I hope these folks were listening up as you were talking, because there is a particular reason that I have you on here. Of course, I deal with the financial piece for the most part, and then you deal with the career strategy, right? You help these people become better one step at a time, whether it's the resume or the literature that you're creating. I mean, you are an ebook author, right? So
Yes.
these are things that I know that you can help with, and I believe that you have a lot to contribute to this conversation. Now it's Saturday. People are wearing down from Halloween. I know everybody's coming off their little sugar highs and stuff like that. We missed y'all last night, like I said, but we had to bring you something this week. And Shelly's been putting up with me because you guys, your girl has been all over the place. And
No
no,
problem.
Shelly's been very patient with me. So that's a testament to what she can do for you. So let me go ahead and just kind of ask you just real quick, given the conversation that we had last week, and we see it all over social media, maybe
Mhm.
even in society a little bit, but it
Mhm.
seems like with Gen Z, both the men and the women are a little disenfranchised. They're kind of looking at millennials. They're seeing how we've been working hard. We're all tired. Like, not really where we thought we would be necessarily, but still striving, right? They're seeing that, and they're kind of trying to figure out if this is something that they want to mirror or if they want to carve a different path. But in doing so, a lot of them really aren't getting any traction with anything. They're not going to school, they're
Mhm.
living with their parents, they're not wanting to get jobs. Now, I knew that this was something with the ages between like maybe 18 and 25-ish. That's what I thought it was. But
Mhm.
once I started to read, I saw that there's like this sector of men from 25 to 54 to 55 that are actually jobless. So, how long has that been going on exactly? And is that something that you actually have some experience with, being a career coach? Like, is it just being like blown up by the media right now, or is this really something to worry about?
There's a sector that
I'm
I
general.
I recently um, I recently discovered myself. I did a video about this a few weeks ago myself on my channel of a set of men called NEETs,
Hmm.
and not in education, employment, or
Hmm.
technology is the colloquial term or colloquial acronym for
Hmm. Yeah.
this set of people. But my question is then, if you're not doing that, what are you doing? I'm
That's a
I'm
great question.
I'm concerned from
That's a
a
good question.
human to human level. I see there's a commenter in the chat um, saying that it is bad. And I've come across a few Reddit posts here as well
Hmm.
in the last couple of months talking about this group, or they're conversing amongst each other.
Hmm.
And I'm going, so how are you providing for yourself?
Hmm. Hmm.
How are where are you living? With mom in the basement? With grandma in the basement?
I
Um,
mean, listen, some of them are, girlfriend. Some of
uh,
them are.
I'm understanding. So if something happens with grandma, where are you going to go? What are you going
Especially
to
if
do?
grandma's renting and doesn't own the house that she lives in, which is actually becoming more common. So
What is the plan here?
we have
That's
no idea. Um, that is a big question, I think, and we're going to dive into that today because I think that you and I are in some really unique positions because you guys know the majority of my client base is actually men. So
mhm,
I can attest to the fact that men a certain demographic of men are actually trying to become better and working on the
Of
self-improvement.
course.
Now, there are some that go a little extreme with it and some that are just not moving at all. So that's just two different ends of the spectrum here.
Right.
I think tonight we're probably going to address the people that are on the side that aren't really doing too much. And I wanted to kind of dive into that. But let's go ahead and jump into these comments before we get into the TikTok and the semi messiness. I'm not going to be too messy tonight, y'all. I'm going to try. But anyway, Stephanie Aviles says, hello. I looking for someone that can help me. Do you have a package price or how? Okay, so I think she's talking to you, Mentor Shelley. I'm not really sure. So, Stephanie, if you're still here, just let us know which topic you're looking for a consultation for, because I do if you're looking for the financial end of the spectrum.
Right.
And then Mentor Shelley can help you with the career side. So resume writing. What else do you offer, Shelley?
Resume writing, career strategy, and interview and salary negotiation coaching together. Now, if you want me to help you with all of those things, I do have a professional portfolio pricing that puts all of that together. And we're going to have at least 3 or 4 sessions where we put all that together, and from soup to nuts, from job search all the way to you getting a job with the portfolio that I put together for you. Now that's a part of my consultations too. That's a package price, because all of those separately, it's going to cost you more. So
Right.
I do have a package price, and it's available at mentorshelley.com/consultations, which Victoria will put up as well.
Yeah. All right. And she's saying it's bad. Yes, girlfriend, it definitely is bad. But it's really weird because some of these men, they getting away with this. And we know this because now it's become a news story. So these guys are definitely doing, a lot of them are flying under the radar. And it sounds like life has not really hit them that negatively since they're still able to do it. Now, hey, Samri, hope you're
Hey,
still
Samri.
here. How's it going?
Hey, Samri.
I don't know what part of the country you're from. I don't know if you're East Coast, West Coast, or down South, Midwest. If you can, you don't have to tell us your exact location, but I've always been curious about where you're watching us from. Okay, so Stephanie says credit. Okay, so I did put the link in the description here. But again, credit also does have to do with the amount of money that you bring in, because typically your credit may be suffering because you don't have enough money to pay off your debt. So yeah, so once you get that handled, it could be a matter of getting your career focus first and then trying to fix your credit after. So we would have to talk though, Stephanie, because I can always refer you to Mentor Shelley or vice versa.
Right.
Okay. So I did find a couple of articles tonight, and of course I found some TikToks because I mean, what is an article without a TikTok associated with
Come
it, right?
on.
I mean, that's what we're doing these days. That's what the cool kids are doing. So give this old lady a moment, y'all, because I got to try to see if I could find this TikTok, because this one was kind of interesting. We're talking about the men that are not in the workforce. And then there was an article that I wanted to jump into as well. So let me see if the Google machine will let me pull up this link of this video. And y'all, as you come in, I want to know what y'all's experience is with this type of situation. Do you guys know anybody? Do you have any siblings or cousins, or are you somebody that's living at home? And if you are, why are you living at home? I want y'all to chime in. Remember, this is the internet. We don't know you. Okay, nobody knows you. Okay, like the only 2 people you know, me and Mentor Shelley, because our faces are right here, right? But let us know, because I want to get some of y'all's perspective on what's going on here. So let me see if I could share this this TikTok. And yes, I know this is a controversial figure, y'all. So just bear with me. Listen to the message. Don't SHOOT the messenger, okay? Because listen, this sister is spitting. So let's listen to this, and then I'm gonna get some of your insight on this as well, Shelley.
Okay.
All right, tell me, and let me know if there's any audio issues.
Oh, her.
Well, okay. Well, get a little chocolate break. Hold on, y'all. You know what I'm saying?
We're gonna talk about that one offline. Go ahead, do your thing. Do your thing.
Candace did her part. She started pressing her hair out. She got a hairstylist and everything, y'all. So let's cut her a break, all right? But
All right.
let me go ahead.
Do your thing, ma'am.
Shelley
is not working. Perhaps he is a stay-at-home dad.
Right,
and the woman is, when there is a man that is not working. Perhaps he is a stay-at-home dad, and the woman is the person that is earning the most finances, right? The woman that is financially carrying the family, to say it more eloquently. They seem to argue more, is what I would say. There is something about not being able to provide for his family that diminishes a man. It does. There is something that happens to a man. It's why when men lose their jobs, we talked about this week, that man who committed suicide when he realized that he was going to lose his entire job because his wife called the police. When men lose their job, they suffer emotionally. It's more than emotional. They suffer spiritually when they feel that they cannot contribute and that they cannot provide for their families. So when you do create this inverse relationship where you have the women that are financially strong and providing for the family, and the men that are at home, something is disrupted.
Whoa. Well, okay. So as we're having this neat conversation, I think that what Candace said is something that is to be observed. It does deserve a bit more of a closer look, maybe dissect it a little bit, because I do think she's on to something. The economy is speaking for itself right now. I mean, there are a lot of people that are losing jobs. There are some people that, because of what they see with the layoffs and things like that, they are a little bit disenchanted. They don't want to even jump into the job market because of fear that they may end up on that side of the spectrum that Candace is referring to, where, hey, I may go in, have money, think everything's going great, and then the S hits the fan and I end up jobless.
Oh boy.
So that's kind of what I wanted to discuss with you tonight. So I also found an article, but before we continue, I'm gonna pull up the article. But before we go, like, is there anything that you want to say as far as input with what she said? Is there some truth to what Candace is speaking?
I mean, depending on what your religious or your spiritual beliefs are, a lot of what she says is mirrored into foundationally and patriarchally what men are expected. That's the expectation placed on them in society, and also um in their maybe there's some of their belief systems that men are supposed to provide. And there are some men that are literally wired that way, and if they feel like they're not in that position, or they cannot, or there's something limiting their ability to do that, some men don't function very well mentally and emotionally. So there's truth, there's really strong truth to that, and I can understand that. It's like there's some women that there's certain things that is true to a woman, and that's how you're built and that's how you're wired, and if you feel like you can't do those things, then it's going to affect you in negative ways on multiple levels, and that's understandable.
Okay, so I think what I hear you saying is that there's a lot of layers to this thing. It's not just, hey, I'm just lazy, I'm this, I'm that. Some of it really does seem like, this issue stems from something a little bit deeper. Now, some people may believe, depending on their belief system, that it is, biblically related, and maybe it is some kind of attack from the enemy. That may be what's happening, because I, for one, do believe that there is a war on men, but because this channel is not about that, I won't dive that deeply into it. That's why, like I said, I chose that clip for a reason, because I do believe that there's something deeper going on. But for the sake of the audience, we're going to go ahead and just focus on the stuff that we know we can relate to here. So I found this article on CNBC, and just wanted to show you Stephanie here, because Stephanie absolutely agrees with you, Mentor Shelley. So we definitely have some like minds in the house, and that makes me happy. Okay, hey NC worker, I'm
Hello,
guessing
NC worker.
in North Carolina, I'm assuming. So hoping you're safe after the hurricane and all that craziness that happened. So okay. So let's go ahead and look at this together, Mentor Shelley and audience. You guys go ahead and follow along here. And don't forget to like the stream as you come in. Okay, so again, admittedly, you brought this to my attention, Mentor Shelley, because you had a video on your channel that talked about men that are working or not working, and they've just tapped out. So this CNBC article says that more men in their prime working years are neither working nor looking for jobs. and here's why. So let's go ahead and dive into it. We got a couple of key points, but we're going to dive in. So it says here that men have been steadily dropping out of the workforce, especially men 25 to 54 who are considered to be in their prime working years. Okay. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, the unemployment rate for prime age working men was 3.4 in August of 2024. Unemployment rate, y'all, 3.4, only 2 or 3 months ago. This number primarily includes those who are unemployed and looking for a job. But about 10.5% of men in their prime working years, or roughly about 6.8 million men nationwide, that's here in America, are neither working nor looking for employment, compared to just 2.5 in 1954. So, of course, they're comparing this to something that is over 60 years ago, right? But it's very interesting to me that 3.4% of men are actually looking for work, but there's also 10.5% of men that are in their prime working years that just don't give a damn. I'm just going to say it. Credit Solutionist is going to say it. They just don't give a damn. They don't want to work. So I think that's a bit of a problem. So it continues here. The long-term decline in the labor force participation by so-called prime age men is a tremendous worry for our society, our economy, and probably our political system. So this is from Nicholas Eberstadt. He's a political economist at the American Enterprise Institute. And he says further that education is an important predictor of prime age men's odds of being out of the labor force. While I do understand what he's saying, I do have a reason for why I do not believe that. Because the trade, you don't necessarily have to have formal education, but you stand to make a lot of money in a trade and you will have a lot of work, continuous work, by the way. So I was kind of iffy on what he said there, but okay, we'll talk. Now, it says that the big impacts are on non-college educated groups, on their ability to enter and stay in the labor market. Now, that's from Jeff Stroll, who's a director at the Center of Education and the Workforce at Georgetown University. So it's kind of interesting that these are educated people, obviously saying that education is needed. So there is a bias there. I just wanted to point that out to you guys.
Not necessarily, but keep going.
Okay, yes, I say, hang on, because we're almost done. So a study by the Pew Research Center found that men who are not college educated leave the workforce at higher rates than men who are. At the same time, fewer younger men have been enrolling in college over the past decade. So it says here, just to close out, they used to be able to graduate high school with a high school education and have higher or good stable jobs. Since then, due to technology-driven growth and a little bit due to the Chinese competition, okay, you've had a lot of
manufacturing. Okay,
right. I was like, okay, and that's why I said I don't know if the education part plays a role in that, because they're saying we're competing with another country. So I don't know, but like I said, we'll talk. It says you've had a lot of manufacturing firms, and the places where they were located that were one-horse towns become ghost lands. Now, I lived near Appalachia for a little over a year, and now I'm further away from Appalachia, but still pretty closely connected to it. And I will say that I have seen a change, because a lot of towns that were coal focused, let's say in West Virginia, for example, they're ghost towns now. Right. So I can understand that. And I don't know what those young men can do other than leave. Right. But what if they can't afford to leave? So there are some layers here. So let's go back to the education piece. What are your thoughts on that? Because I don't think you need to have a college degree to be a plumber.
I don't. You don't.
Right.
That's exactly the point I was going to drive home. You don't have to have a college degree to have a decent education. There are trades, there are certifications. You don't necessarily have to go into actual hard labor type of jobs or work or skills or industries. Yes, we are absolutely in need of plumbers. We're absolutely in need of electricians. We're absolutely in need of HVAC and heating specialists. Okay, HVAC, that's heating and AAC refrigeration, folks. We are absolutely in need of all of those skills. The men that are in some of those fields are old. They need help. They need some young energy. Okay, so if you're looking for a career path and you like working with your hands, I'm I'm advocating as a career coach. Please
True. Fact.
go hit up your trade schools ASAP. You might find in some states that they'll actually pay for most, if not all of it. Just a shameless plug as far as that's concerned. Now, if you don't want to go that route, but you don't want to go get a college degree,
Mm-hmm.
there are other ways. This thing that we're talking to you on, the internet, the computer, can yield a lot of great opportunities for you.
Mm-hmm.
Can you can create a store, and if you learn how to present and sell online, you can have your own online store. You can create a product, you can create digital products, you can get an IT certification, learn how to do something in IT, whether it be from coding to network administration to cybersecurity. You can learn about IT stuff on this very thing here,
Mm-hmm.
because there's a whole other sector just for mobile. There's all kinds of career paths that you can take that does not require a college degree.
Exactly.
Okay, you can do that's just the IT sector.
Mm-hmm.
We could talk about jumping into things like graphic designer. You can become a freelancer.
Right.
You can offer digital marketing services to businesses that don't have an online presence. These things that I'm talking about takes weeks to learn, not years.
Right.
Weeks, weeks to learn. Okay, let's say you don't want to do anything super technical with a computer.
Mm-hmm.
You can become a realtor.
Girl,
You can become a home inspector.
get that money.
A couple of weeks, couple of months at a specific at a real estate school, and
Yep.
get your license through the state. There's so many opportunities that do not require a college degree. So I understand that there are companies out there. I used to work for quite a few
Mm-hmm.
that exported jobs overseas. Some
Okay.
of them had to do a reverse Uno and bring them jobs right back because they lost business because of it. But a lot of those industrial grade jobs, you keep in mind, Detroit was one of the most hard hit cities that had all of those workers that worked in the car in the car plant that ended up without a job. That
Right.
economy felt the blow of those changes with the car companies, and they
You're
moved.
not lying. You're not lying because I am an indirect result of that. Because
Yeah,
that started way back in probably the 60s, late 60s, early 70s. Because the only reason that my family ended up in California and why I am a Californian, because girl, I could have been from Michigan, okay? My family, before I was even a thought or a blip in the universe, my grandfather worked for Ford out in Michigan. And because that didn't pan out, like he was there and then it just didn't work out, they all decided to pick up and just, move to California. And, little
okay.
Victoria came to be like a million years later. But that's why a lot of us, I'm going to be honest, like a lot of people ended up in California because there was opportunity, but it was also because of the layoffs that happened back then. And I know you're talking about something a little more recent, but it's like it's a pattern almost, it seems like. But you're right. It's like just because you get laid off though from, let's just say, Ford, okay, well, what's stopping you from going to work for, I don't know, Dodge or Chrysler or whoever else, because you still have the skill,
Skills
right? A car is a car is a car. You can figure it out. That's a technical skill, right?
to some degree, depending on what it is that they were doing there. Also, I wanted to use that as an example to show that yes, those car companies made their decision. They made a decision that was best for their economy. What are the decisions? Your family made that decision. Well, the economic opportunities that we had before are no longer here. So what did they do? They moved to an area where there were better economic opportunities. If you don't have that option, look around what is available, and either you figure out what works for you or you learn something that works for you.
Right,
What
right.
what there is very narrow places for is,
Mhm.
yes, this happened. People made decision that's what that was best for them. Are you looking at the decisions and the economic opportunities that is
Mhm.
best for you? Because I'm sure being dependent on another human to put food in your mouth and to keep a roof over your head is not some place or somewhere that anybody that has an independent brain and want to operate like an adult will want to sustain forever. So I'm sorry. I didn't mean
No,
to.
you're fine. Now, the one thing that I noticed, because you know my compliance focused brain here, it just noticed that this article from CNBC, God bless them, I love that they show young millionaires and all this other stuff, but it's still media, so there's an angle. I noticed that in this article, it was very vague and it was very education focused, which I support education 100%. Not
Mhm.
if it's going to put you in debt, and not if you don't know that you're going to have a job outside of whatever your major is.
Correct.
I that's my only hesitation with that.
Mhm.
But the article, in my opinion, seemed to kind of breeze over everything, and it seems like that's what's happening right now. Is that there's so much of a focus on what is happening, meaning men are out of the workforce, that we're kind of just, I don't want to say making up reasons that this is happening, but I feel like it's so multifaceted that there has to be, it's just something with like that has a million tentacles that go out. It just, there's so many reasons
I
that this
mean,
could be happening.
we're talking about humans, right?
Right.
We're talking about every multifaceted. Humans are multifaceted.
Okay.
Hey, Kid Business, how you
Hey
doing?
there, haven't seen you here before, so welcome. I know it's
Oh,
weird. We're on a Saturday night, so
oh,
we're gonna see a lot of new
I
people,
know
girl.
Kay through
Where, how you know Kay? Wait a
Cherie.
minute.
Through Cherie at Black Women Making Money. He's
Excuse
been
me,
on
how y'all know each other?
because he's been on Cherie's show before. Uh,
Yeah, I'll be nosy, okay?
yes, how you doing, Kay?
Just
Welcome to
nosy. I'm
the
sorry, y'all.
show. Um, what that article, of course I know who you are. I tune in sometimes.
Look, Shelly knows you. It's me, okay? I'm like, who are you, sir? Who sent you?
Oh yeah,
What's
he's
your credentials, sir? What you do? What you talk about on your business channel? Let us know. Chat it. Put
well,
it
he
in the
talks
chat.
about a lot. He talks about he talked about the last, I think the last video I saw, he talked about the fact that the young lady Dash, although she's having
Mm.
really great strides on YouTube right now, said if
Mhm.
you have a job, don't just jump and quit your job. Have a plan
Oh
and
God,
do,
no. Yeah.
yeah, and of course he gives us pretty good information and good
Okay.
advice about business. He's always on the go because he got all the things lined up. The working job.
Oh, 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 wait, 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 wait. Our boy is making it rain. Hold on. Hold on. Listen, hold on, Kay. Kay could probably teach me some stuff. Hold on. I gotta give you some props here. Hold on, brother. Woo! Lordy Lord. He done made it rain up in here.
Wait a minute now. Thank you. All right. Yay. Wonderful.
Yay. Okay, wait a minute. Now I gotta turn it down. Hold on, hold on. Thank
Mhm.
you, Kay. Thank you, Kay. Thank you, Kay. No, seriously, thank you so much for that support, because that definitely lets us know that coming on, what we're doing is helping or working, and that we all support each other, because as I mentor Shelly, we are business owners, and it is a different state of mind to be successful at it. And there's a lot of highs and lows. And when we come out and support each other, I think that's great for people to see in the community. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And K Business Channel is now tonight's sponsor of the channel. So to become the sponsor of the Credit Solutionist live stream tonight with Mentor Shelly, you're gonna have to beat $20. Okay. So you guys,
You better
look,
tell him.
it's up to y'all what you want to do. I know it's the first of the month, and I also know that you got paid though, because I work with money. So
Mhm.
thank you
But
so much, Kay. We're gonna go ahead and I don't know if we can give you a star. Yeah. Okay, so Samri says that she's on the West Coast. Okay, so you're from my
mm,
stomping grounds, probably, Samri, because I'm from LA. So all righty. Need to find your channel, Mentor Shelly. Okay, yeah, Mentor Shelly, go ahead and put your channel in the chat. Did you put it in
okay.
there?
We'll
For
do that right now. We gonna help you with that right now.
because the good thing about Mentor Shelly is that you could just put Mentor Shelly and you'll literally find her like all across the internet. So
Oh
that's
yeah.
like that brand continuity, you guys. That's a lesson right there. That's brand continuity.
The video on that's coming. Trust.
Heck yeah. And you guys honestly go and subscribe to Mentor Shelly because right now we are on a mission to get Shelly to how many subscribers are we looking for? What's our goal?
1,000 subscribers.
Okay, there we go. So we're looking to get Mentor Shelly to 1,000 subscribers, you guys, because I will say this. You know how you find those people on YouTube that their channel is a little bit smaller, but when you find it, you kind of realize that you have found I don't want to say a diamond in the rough because I don't think it's in the rough. I think you just find a diamond and it's kind of just there and you're like, how did it get there? Is this a trick? There's got to be something going on here. Like this can't be real. You know, like how they put the dollar on the street and then they pull it with the string and the person chases it down the street. No. I'm really saying something real today, like right now for real, because it just hit me. I'm like, okay, you see a channel and there's so much information there that can actually change your life. And it's not full of fluff. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's actual real information there that can change your life, not just your outlook, but your actual life. So I think it's very important for you guys to either subscribe and also share her content because right now, Mentor Shelly is very accessible in the sense that she comes on with me every week. There may come a time where she will be like, talk to my business manager. Sorry, Victoria, you need to talk to my business manager. You know what I'm saying? So you're kind of seeing both of us at a level where it's like you have access to us right now. So you have to take advantage of it. So we're going to get Mentor Shelly to 1,000 subscribers. My goal would probably be about 2,000 for her, but you know, I'd be acting crazy. But I think let's get her to 1,000, you guys, because once she really takes off, y'all gonna be looking for her, and she's gonna be like, "Here's my consultation link for $1,000 an hour." So, what we doing? You know? So I'm just saying, definitely go over there, you guys, and make it happen. We got to support people with good information.
Appreciate that.
No, I'm really serious. Sorry, y'all. Y'all know I go on and on, but okay, so. Yeah, definitely share it, Key Business, and that's great. And maybe y'all can collab too.
Absolutely.
That's already, that's awesome. Okay, so just subscribe from Victoria's channel. Great, OCL Sportsman. So I remember you coming through, I think last week or the week before. So thank you so much for that.
Y'all make me cry tonight.
No, like
joy, of course.
Shelly, look, girl. Okay, and I gotta be real, cause Shelly be knowing look, Shelly's been patient with me, y'all. And at the end of the day, it's like this is a platform where we come to share our expertise. And it's been a long time coming. Me and Shelly have known each other for a few years now. And I mean, it's flown by, but we got to keep this thing going. You know, I want to grow this. I want you to grow your channel. You know, we can bring stuff to these folks and we got to do what we got to do, you know? But like I said, tonight's episode and this conversation is so important just because, you know, like I said, for me, I have a lot of men that are clients of mine. My main client base is men. So this topic is near and dear to me. And I know that you have a lot of gems that you can help people with as well. And it's important that they see that there are women out here like you and me. We see the problem. We're not going to beat y'all up, but we're going to make you fix it. Take a look at it. Okay.
We're not going to beat you up, but we're not going to baby you either.
Yes. Okay. I don't know if you read that comment, Shelly, but ma'am, your calendar's
okay. Yes. We'll be in touch, Kay. We'll be in touch.
But like I said, when you get gifts like this, you guys, you really do have to take advantage. I really think that your life will be different. Because my life is different since meeting Shelly. I haven't told you that, but I know, girl. Like I said, I've been in my little funk this week. You've been patient with me, so I appreciate you. You know, I got to give you your flowers publicly, okay?
No problem.
Y'all, I'll be a handful, okay?
Y'all are making me cry, Lord. All right, go ahead on.
No, it's for real. Like I said, girl, God be speaking to me sometimes, and I be having to say, okay, all right, okay. Okay, so where did we leave off? We were talking about the CNBC situation here, and then we got our channel sponsor here, so I'm gonna give him his props. Okay, so I did actually want to talk about this for just a quick split, and then we'll get back on our actual outline. But you were talking about some skilled jobs that are in demand right now. So as you were talking, I actually looked this up, and I have some jobs here that some of these men should be doing, because with all of these natural disasters that are happening, and with home ownership that's going up, and business ownership that's going up, and the economy is causing these companies to now have to go back to work. What I want people to understand, let me come in close real quick before I share the list. When things in the news are happening, like return to work mandates, natural disasters, what have you, you need to look at it from a business perspective and say, okay, if people are having to return to work, what does that mean? That means the need for HVAC goes up. That means the need for electricians goes up, construction workers, traffic controllers. That means all kinds of industries that are tied into these things are going to go up. Plumbers are going to go up, right? If you have to go back to the office. So I know at the same time, it kind of sucks for the people that got to come back, but there's an opportunity for those of you, for the men, we're talking to the men tonight, to go into those trades and actually become a viable part of this network again. You know what I'm saying? So what are your thoughts on that?
Even, all of those positions, or even something as simple as getting more contracts for cleaning companies.
Correct.
Now that the buildings will be occupied again.
Exactly.
Or for insurance companies, whether you're offering health insurance, you're offering liability insurance, or you're offering property insurance. A lot of people unfortunately in North Carolina and other places, the insurance, the property insurance people are overworked.
Exactly. And I think
it only takes a few weeks to get an insurance license. How do I know? I had one in another state.
There you go. There you go.
That's another career path. I have several family members that are very successful insurance brokers. I'm actually going to be, I'm putting a shout out to my family members here, but I'm going to have at least one of them on the channel before the year is out. So that you guys can understand that some of these career paths that y'all making it's not as taxing as you think, and it does not require all this time that y'all think. College degree is not for everybody. Let's be clear. But it does not, a college degree just is not a be all and end all to being a productive part of society. And a job is not for everybody either. Some people can freelance and be very successful. Some people can run their own organization and be successful. But in order to do either of those things, it's going to take money. So you got to start from somewhere. And if you have no money and you're learning a skill, getting a job to help you to get from one place to the next is where you got to start. It is what it is.
Facts.
We can get grants too, but we don't talk about that because I don't.
Yeah, that's like next level. That's like the next level in the hierarchy.
Right. So.
Yeah, because I think at the end of the day, we have to get people comfortable with the idea of taking initiative and realizing that you do have agency over where you end up, right? Because as I was having my tantrums this week and Shelly was keeping me focused, listening to me just be a wet dish rag. And I have to say it, just because I'm being honest here, it's like, if I were to really just sit back and listen, it's like, oh my God, you're absolutely right. Like I'm in control to a certain degree with all the choices that I make, right? If I'm unhappy with this one thing, I have the option to change it. Now, is moving back home or living with your parents an option? Probably always, right? But sometimes you have to live life like that isn't an option, and you have to get out of this the bubble of woe is me, because I think and I put it here because I wanted to ask you about this. I think because of the increased access to social media, I did put online dating in here, which does play a part in it, because I think some of these men living at home, maybe some women need to stop dating them, and then they won't think it's okay anymore. But let me
don't touch that.
So, social media. That's just social. What's the word that I'm looking for?
It's a lot of social engineering going towards those topics.
Yeah, and we need to hold people accountable for
Everybody.
when they are not pulling their weight. Okay, so I will be honest with that.
Right.
Now, social media, online dating, gaming, I think has a really big part in this, and other technological advances. I think that they tend to occupy people's time. It's a little bit harder for people because coming out of the what I call the pandemic, coming out of that, it's very hard for a lot of people to adjust back from having this in their hand all the time and starting to re-engage in society. And I think men in particular are struggling with that a lot. Um, they kind of want to just be connected to the screen is what I see, and it keeps the mind occupied all the time. So because of that, do you think that the men's participation in society as a whole and the workforce will continue to dwindle because of the technological aspect? Like, do you think they're using it more for recreation versus how can I make money? How can I become, successful in the internet space? Or am I asking that right? Do you get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, and I'm gonna say this. I don't think that I think there is a bump up in the amount of young men that are not engaged in anything productive,
Hmm.
because that article did not give rise to young men that are playing video games and making oogles and oogles of money, because there are young men that are playing video games and are making great money from it. Because listen, if you're earning money, right? If you're earning a living from gaming, that is the ultimate, especially if you love gaming. Let's be clear. So if you're earning money to take care of yourself, there's no need for you to be in mom's basement, right? You're taking care of yourself. You're earning monetary funds to adjust, to fund your lifestyle. No issues with that. You have a business, a thriving business, or you have a growing business. Your business could be fencing, putting up people's fences. That's a skill. Cutting grass. Some people may think it's a low skill, but if you cut enough grass and you do it for enough people and you have enough contracts on the books, because you have people now that are not just doing, oh, can I cut your grass this week, can I cut you, they're now going to people's houses. I spoke with a friend of mine earlier today
Hmm.
that, excuse me, they have contracts to cut people's grass for the next 6 months on a weekly basis for a
Okay,
discounted fee.
I got you.
Can't knock the hustle. They're trying to work on their business and they're approaching it from a long-term standpoint.
Girl, you ain't lying.
So, if you're being productive, it doesn't have to necessarily be with a job, and it doesn't
Hmm.
necessarily have to be with a business like a conventional business per se. It could be something off the books, as long as you are making a living and you are able to fund your lifestyle and you're not dependent on another human to do so.
Hmm.
I have no issues with you. Where I have an issue is that you're not productive at all, one, and two, you are now infringing upon and then becoming a burden to other people in your life, and then have the nerve to have the audacity to think somebody has to be there to support your nonsense. That's what I have an issue with.
Oh, wait a minute now. You said nonsense. Okay, hold on now. Okay, so here's what I wanted to mention too. So, two
Mhm.
things. Now, obviously y'all see the message right there. So to become a show sponsor, you got to see and raise OCL Sportsman's contribution of $20. I know y'all just got paid. Look, we up here on a Saturday night. Listen, I live right next door to a club, y'all. Let me come in close. I
Oh
live
boy.
right next door to a club. You understand, with the week I've had, I could be out there just having some plantains, because it's a Caribbean spot right here. Some plantains,
Oh,
probably some oxtails and something else. I
girl,
could
don't
be
do
doing
that.
that right now, getting
You're gonna
me a
make me
little
hungry. Don't do that.
sippy girl. I could be doing so much, but I decided to come on here to talk to you. And really, Shelly's going out of her way too tonight, and I appreciate it so much. But like, I could be out partying right now, y'all, zoning the hell out. But I wanted to come on here because I really do care about the well being of men. contrary to what people believe. It's like, no, I really do care about that, and I want to see men succeed. That's one of the goals that I actually have before I leave the earth. I got to help at least a handful of y'all, okay? But video games. My brother, who is younger than me, actually makes tons of money. He is, I think, almost a six-figure earner, or he is now a six-figure earner.
Okay.
And he started out playing video games in his bedroom. And I remember, I don't know if he's watching right now, but I remember my mom was really worried because she's like, why is he always playing video games? And I'm like, Mom, he's going to be fine. Like, trust me, he's going to be fine. And now he's a digital marketing director for an esports league. They travel internationally. So you
Okay.
guys, the excuse of technology and you can't focus and you have to just do that to zone out. No, you can actually pivot and make that a money-making venture. I don't know where my brother's feet hit the ground half of the time because he'd be in Spain, Australia, all kind of places, y'all, with this team. These are guys, they get buckets of money and they just, that's their thing, you know?
Right.
So you can go into esports, you can do any of that kind of stuff, right? Now, the other thing was that you talked about with the trade situation. It's like, yes, you don't have to have the education, you guys, and you don't have to start off at the very tip top. So while you were talking, I pulled up this list. There's 21 skilled trade jobs in demand. Now, if you're going to live at home, listen, I don't agree with that. We're going to look at another article about that a little bit later. I do not agree with that because I do think if you are going to live at home, unless you have some kind of skill set, some kind of goal, some kind of written out plan, no, you should not be living at home because going home is literally a way for you to stack your money, develop a plan, get yourself a consultant or a business coach or a life coach in the meantime, and get your life together, right? But also, what you should be doing is looking for some low skilled jobs because I don't believe in taking on educational debt if you don't have to. So now this is 21 skilled trade jobs in demand. Now, this is from Indeed.com. So do not shoot the messenger, okay? This is from Indeed where you could be applying right now, okay? So they're saying that number one is a custodian. Listen, I think one of the most humbling jobs a person can ever have is cleaning up after others that are not your family members. Okay. This can actually be quite a character building job. And I don't know how you feel about this, Shelly, but do you agree with that? Or like
You're 1,000% right. It's not an easy job.
it's not.
It's not, and a lot of people, unfortunately, will have the nerve to take their nose and look down on somebody that's doing this job. You better not do that.
Don't do that at all because
Please
I
don't
will.
ever do that.
Right. And I'll say this. I talked about it the last live stream. When I was going out the other day, I was driving out of the parking lot of the apartment over here. I saw two ladies get out of an SUV. Old girls had some vacuums, they had their buckets, they had their gloves, and they had their cleaning supplies. Now that truck that they got out of did not look like it was a company vehicle. That car looked like it was something that they own and they were just using to go from Airbnb to Airbnb to Airbnb to Airbnb
Okay.
to clean up. So would you not agree, Mentor Shelley, that if they got a job as a custodian, that they could be looking and taking notes and saying, okay, I know how to clean. Boom, check, got it. I know how to clean a professional facility like an office, a school, whatever.
Right.
Check, got it. Oh, I know how often I have to refill these containers, these cleaners, these paper towels, whatever. Oh, I already have information on how to restock my shelves if I became a business owner that did cleaning services. Check.
Correct.
So, would this not be technically on the job and business training for starting your own cleaning company?
Very much so, because that's exactly what Kay is saying. You can use those that skill to start a business. Yep.
Exactly. So this is what we're about right here. It's about taking these jobs that people consider menial by society standards and saying, yes, you might make $30,000 for quite some time, but what is stopping you? Okay, say you're a school custodian. What's stopping you from 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock at night going to clean business offices at night? And then supplementing the rest of that income. I don't think there's anything that's stopping you from
Nothing.
I know. I looked at this list and I was like, let me just go ahead and tell them how we see things because people need to understand that it's not just about the job, it's what can you get from the job, right?
What you can use from the job to level up. to elevate.
Exactly. So, custodian, that's the number one. Now, again, the money wasn't that great, but we just told y'all how to actually supplement, okay? And double it, triple it, whatever you got to do. Because when you're a business owner or a contractor, Shelly, can you not set your own fee?
Come on now.
Let's really
Even
talk
even
about
as even as a career professional,
it.
yes, I will
Exactly.
do these things for you for a fee.
I'm telling you, refuse collector, everybody knows that the person that makes the most money probably comes home smelling to high heavens and is the happiest person on earth, a refuse collector. Now, I think that they make a little bit more than $42,000 per
Yeah.
year. This may be a median of some
Mhm.
sort.
Right.
But you can turn refuse collector into junk removal.
Right.
Could you
Yeah.
not, while you're
Yeah.
like living at home or living with roommates doing what you do?
Correct.
Legal assistant, 51,000. That's quite a bit of money if you have a roommate or you're kind of sharing expenses with somebody.
Yep.
So let's really talk about this, y'all.
Exactly.
And bus driver. Okay, I know a bunch of bus drivers. I don't know if you do, but I definitely know a few.
Mhm.
That's something you could do and turn it into a transportation company. So
Yeah.
that's something that you could do as well. So, see, we're not here to bash the men folk, okay? We're here to help the men folk, but we also want to shine a light on what y'all are doing.
Mhm.
So, speaking of which, I'm gonna see if I got this graphic that I wanted to pull up and get your thoughts on it.
Mhm.
It is about some staggering statistics that I saw about the men that are working or looking for work, but some are also unemployed and choosing not to work. So, let me see if I could find that
Hmm.
real quick. I want to say I sent it to you via email. It was that little graph.
Mhm.
Let me
I have
see.
it pulled up.
Actually, you know what? Here, I think I might be able to share it with. Oh, not that one. This one right here. Okay.
There we go.
Yeah. So I wanted to zoom in on this because I thought this was really crazy. Okay. So of course the men folk got a reason. Everybody got a reason for why they can't do something. So I'm gonna go ahead and put y'all on blast real quick.
No.
This is according to bipartisanpolicy.org.
Okay.
So it says here, we already talked about the statistics between the 1950s and right now, 2024, but it
Mhm.
says that men out of the labor force are significantly more likely to cite a health related barrier than unemployed men looking for work.
Mhm.
So here it says the main reason for not being employed. So if y'all could see it, the blue bars are for men that are currently looking for work but don't have work, and
Right.
then the orange is for men that are not looking for work.
Mhm.
So the main reason for not being employed for some of these people, not working by choice, which I think is the needs that you were talking about a second ago, and we'll
Mhm.
dive into that obviously.
Mhm.
But 25% of men that are between 20 and 30 are not working by choice. That's a lot of damn men. That's a quarter of men between 25 and 50 or 20 and 30 years old.
Wow.
And then the ones that are oh, actually, I'm sorry, that's the ones that are looking for work. They're unemployed but looking for work, but they're not working by choice. So if you're unemployed, not looking for work by choice, but also looking for work, is that just to get unemployment benefits, you think?
Some of them, this is not working by choice. So yeah, some of them will be just they'll fill out the application just to get unemployment because there's some states that require you to apply for a certain amount of jobs per week just to get the benefit.
Right. And I
Florida
didn't
is like that.
realize and these and the guys that are looking for work but not working by choice, which is the blue column, that could also be the guys that are just applying to make sure that they're still marketable.
Well, that and okay, so the red is not looking for work. Why is the red so high in some of these categories?
You
That's
know,
concerning to me.
that's what we're going to get into because the article that I just read, I don't think touches enough on it. It's talking about, oh, because men are not educated. Okay, well, why are they not educated? What is that? You know what I mean? It's like the article was a bit too vague for my taste.
Well, we also have to consider some men that are having struggles because of previous criminal records as well.
Facts. That's true
Um,
too.
which um, that speaks to the justice system or injustice system, depending on who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Um, um, that also gives rise, and it also opens up opportunities for you as men that may have previous records to strike out on your own, because maybe the opportunities are not there with an employer, so become one.
Exactly. And I met a guy, actually the one that I'm working with, the nonprofit with.
Mhm.
He actually is an electrician. So I know that he makes decent money because he has to go up to DC a lot.
Yeah.
So he's doing the electrician, but on contract. He's part of a union. So he's
Mhm.
definitely always working and always making good money. And we see you, Wizard Jones, 40-year-old gamer here who has his own house and makes good money.
That's right.
Okay, okay,
Cha-ching.
look. I gotta get quicker at this, but let me give you your props, okay?
Okay. Yes.
Hey, look. And I will tell you, like I said, I will never diss a gamer because I am related to one.
Mhm.
And he does not make money being a gamer. He makes money as an executive that oversees a gaming team. Do you see how he finessed that?
Oh yeah.
He's still a gamer,
Listen, he
but
used the
now he's an
skills
executive.
he used the skills he had to get ching paid.
Yeah. And my thing
I'm
is
all for it.
this. And
I'm
this
all for it.
and the thing is, okay, and I ain't gonna I'm gonna just blast my brother because y'all don't know who he is anyway.
Oh Lord.
My brother is just like me. He ain't got no college education. Okay. I want to say I'm a black sheep, but I can't be because he's one too. So I think we might
No,
be the norm in our family. Because
listen.
we outnumber the siblings that are educated.
Oh,
So
I'm not even gonna let you run with that narrative. Let's be clear, folks. Having a college education does not make you smarter than anybody else. It just means that you were able to finish a particular curriculum that the school that you went to provided. And you were able to finish it within a reasonable period of time for you to have that education. That's all the college degree says, that you can finish what you start. And that doesn't mean because you don't have one that you can't do that. That's just that's a document that shows that. And that's why a lot of employers, especially in fields where it's required for you to have, that's why a lot of them require it, because they know, okay, well, this person at least knows based on this piece of paper. It's not just a piece of paper, but it also shows the employer that you have a methodical thought process, because that's part of what you learn in school. So let's be very clear about what a college degree is versus what people try to make it. It is what it is. Use it if you got it. Use the heck out of it, because I know I do. Use it if you got it. But if you
I,
don't, you can still make some big money out here. So let's not let use that as a crutch in any way, shape, or form.
I got you.
You don't have it. All right.
Okay. Okay.
You can do great whether you have one or not. That's all I want to say about that.
No, I gotcha. Now, the smallest here were the other, which is 1% and 3% on the right hand side. We ain't even gonna talk about them because I couldn't even begin to speculate.
No,
Um,
please don't.
but what I found interesting is that the age range of the men that are looking for work,
Mhm.
but having difficulty finding work, which is right here where my cursor is.
It's
These are
super.
the people that I thought were pretty interesting because for the men looking for work, those are men between the ages of 20 to about just under 50 years old. They are actually looking for work and finding difficulty with that versus the ones that are not looking for work. 4% of those are not having difficulty finding work. So those are probably the guys that are applying and getting interviews, but they don't care to go. But the ones that actually are applying and trying to get it, 48% of those guys are not able to do it. So what do you think is happening there? Is it a gap in the skill set or what's that about?
That is could definitely be a huge factor.
Okay.
Um, you could have a skills gap, or you could just have a mindset gap. What
Hmm.
is it that what can you do? But are you willing to do it? Because you have people that have all these skills and are not willing to use them. Don't ask me why. And then you have people that are looking for ways to obtain those skills, but they're having difficulties because it may take that last $1,000 to get into this program, to get into this, and that might be the thing standing in the way of them progressing. What I will always encourage and recommend young men to do, especially if you're in your 20s, don't wait till you love something. Be productive and then figure out what you want to do and then create a plan to get there. At the end of the day, whether you love your job or you hate your job, you still need a roof over your head. You still need to eat. You still need to put clothes on your back. So grab a skill and then figure out what you want to do after.
Right. And I was
a lot of us were in career paths. I wasn't always in human resources. I pivoted a couple of times. But guess what? I'm back in human resources because that's what I like and that's where I belong. But I did my best to create a plan. I stayed over there too long. Said, let's come back. So there's nothing wrong. What I want to stress with this conversation is you have choices. Explore them. Don't allow fear to drive your decisions. Look at the choices that you have. NC Worker makes a very valuable statement. Some people have skills, but their skills aren't valuable enough to make them profitable. So what they need to figure out is to obtain more profitable skills.
And I want to challenge NC Worker. Give us an example of what you're referring to. Because there's a reason I'm having you do that. If you can, give us something that you're referring to. So what skill would someone have that isn't valuable enough to make it profitable? Because I want to test myself and mentor Shelly on this to see if we can actually counter what you're saying. Because I want our brains to kind of work here. But I went through this list of the 21 the 21 jobs that you can get that are skilled. And it just dawned on me as we're talking about tech. A lot of these guys might be a little intimidated by it or just not interested in it. So I like the point that you made about, hey, you don't have to like this. No. A lot of the things you're going to make money at, you're not going to like it. That's the whole point. But you got to find a way to either use it as a stepping stone or you're going to learn to like it. Okay. Because I think once the money starts coming in, that's when you're going to learn to like it. Because I was telling you the other day, I don't believe that I'm a salesperson, but how dare I say I'm not a salesperson and dare to have a business? Excuse me?
It's part of the skills you pick up.
Exactly. So how can I say, oh, I'm not a salesperson, I don't do that, but yeah, I'm going to have a business? How can you even have a job and say you're not a salesperson? Because going into the interview, Mentor Shelly, can you tell us what we're doing in a job interview?
You are selling your skills for a specific salary.
And I'm going to do one better to, okay, NC is going to challenge us. I think we got it, but I'm going to do one better. Are you not selling your time? Are you not selling your skills for that hourly rate and that salary?
Correct.
Shelly, we're gonna have to let them know there's a bunch of ways we could look at this, y'all. You selling something, so
let's hope it's legal.
I don't have that in the list, but that's it. That's in the small business blueprint. I do have some not that crazy, y'all, but I do have some jobs in the list that you can make money from. That actually, yes, it has to do with you just being you. Well, no, it's you being you. You know, people pay for friends. They pay for dates to go to a wedding and look like you're a girlfriend, boyfriend, but you ain't got to do nothing. I'm telling y'all. Anyway, get the small business blueprint. We'll talk about it. Okay, so what does he say? Okay, so NC Worker says, my example would be data entry or customer service. Both are valuable, but they don't make much. No. I'm not going to let you have that one. I was about to, but I'm not gonna. Because here's the thing. And I actually heard Erica Williams talking about it yesterday. That I'm going to tell you, I'm going to counter that, because what if Mentor Shelly or I needs someone to do our data entry or our customer service. Do you understand if 50 people call me tomorrow, NC worker, I'm not talking to those 50 people. If there is somebody that will say, hey, I will sit on this phone or have my phone available for you from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m., whatever time zone, all I ask is that you pay me $300 a day. You know how many people make $300 a day and they're able to survive? Hey, I would do it because if you're,
hold on. Let's do the math on that. Don't just
let's
run
be
by that
real.
right
Let's
quick.
be
Hold on.
real.
$300 per day. Let's
Right.
just say it's just during the week.
Yeah, just 5 days a week. We'll say 5 days a week, 20 days a month.
$1,500 a week times 4 is $6,000 a month.
So let's really talk about that.
Heck yeah.
And I think that's why we're here, NC worker, because the thing is, when people are thinking about career pivots or how to apply their skills, they're only thinking about applying it to a recognized company or organization. But you have to understand, small business runs the country. So small business owners need these services. Small business needs these services.
Let's go even further. He
He being funny now. He says quilting.
No. We're not gonna go to quilting just yet.
I know we gonna cook on this one. We gonna cook.
Virtual assistants are making $1,000 a week off of clients doing this for them now.
I just couldn't believe he said customer service, because I'm like, no, we are outsourcing call centers. When I lived in California, I had a roommate right before I left California, and she worked for a company that had a makeshift call center. And I shouldn't say makeshift; it was this dude was legit, but his focus was Medicare. So she literally said, "Hey, Vic, for $150 a month, we can funnel all your calls into our call center, and we will book those people for you. No commission, nothing. We will just book them and get you that profit for $150 a month." Was that not customer service? That was contracted customer service. Now, whatever they pay those people is up to them. But somebody smart would say, okay, let me go ahead and be a 1099 customer service representative. Now, the name of the website escapes me right now, but you can be a 1099 worker and actually be a customer service representative.
Oh yeah, there's plenty
for
of
a
them.
company.
There's more than one. I know people
Yeah.
that actually hire contractors
Yeah.
to service that website. I can't remember the name of it right now, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Quilting.
You can do that. Now, quilting, he got us.
Have you heard of Etsy before?
Oh crap, she about to get you. Let me go ahead and mute myself so she gonna cook you. Hold on. Matter of fact, I'm gonna give you the screen. Go ahead, girl. Go ahead. I'm going down.
Have you heard of Etsy? Have you heard of people that are selling their art for a fee? The only thing that is not valuable is something that somebody does not find value in. You could sell, that could be a business. You think, oh, quilting? Oh, yeah, nobody's looking for that. As you tell, there are Facebook groups that talk about nothing but quilting. It all depends on where people find value. And if they find that valuable, it can sell. And if it's selling, somebody's making money. So do not despise anything. It might seem a little simple, but you can either create an opportunity, whether it be in a job or a contracting situation or a business, for just about anything. Come back on the screen, Victoria. You know what time it is. Come on. Because if you'll make it and they'll buy it, somebody making money.
No, but no, NC worker, honestly, what you're helping us showcase is that is how a lot of people think, where they say, okay, it's just this. I just clean. I just cut grass. No, you have a skill that so many people need. There is no reason for us to even really have this live stream tonight about men coming out of the workforce. That is why I wanted to focus on what I think might be part of the issue here, because I don't think it's lack of ideas. It could be.
Mindset.
Yeah, maybe. And again, they may just need to talk to the right people,
Right.
right? I'm so glad to find this chat. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like you have to start thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
And even when you think about what Shelly and I are doing right now, okay, we are two people. I'm in like the finance space. She's in the career coaching, HR space. Money makes the world go round. So both of us can help you in our own respective lanes, right? And our job is to help you see things differently. That is why we exist. Us coming on here, how many people are really doing this? I know they make it seem like YouTube is saturated. Sure, it is, but that's YouTube. That's not the world.
It's not
That's not the
saturated.
world. How many people do you know that are getting on sharing this kind of information and just trying to
It's not
open?
saturated with the right information. Let's put it like that. Now, if you want
That's what I'm
silliness
saying.
and foolishness, oh, it's saturated.
Right. That's what I said. I was like, that's why I said your channel is like a little diamond sitting on the ground. And people probably walk by it thinking, oh, who's going to leave a diamond right there? I'm not going to pick it up. Well, you better, like you probably should, because you're going to regret it when
Be
somebody.
surprised how many people do and live
That's
to
what I'm
regret
saying.
it.
Y'all gonna be like, oh, I remember that one lady that used to go on with that other lady that talked a lot, and oh my God. And y'all gonna be looking for the channel, and we're gonna be gone.
Stop it.
Okay. As a man, I'm with both of you. Yeah. And like I said, NC Worker, I don't know that if you were here when I mentioned it, but with credit repair and debt consultations that I have, 70% of my customers, my clients are actually men. I work with men. That's why I don't let these kind of hot button topics get to me, because I talk to the men, so I'm on the ground with them. I know what's up.
You have to always keep in mind though, a lot of the nonsense you hear online with these podcast mics people, that's probably 5 to 10% of the people,
right?
But because they scream so loud, they seem to overshadow people that got common sense,
right?
Or the noise of them seem to overshadow people.
Facts. Now you're not kidding. You're not kidding. He says, ironically, that sector is overly saturated, but it seems to keep growing. Honestly, every area that seems oversaturated, it is going to keep growing, just because there are people that are clicking on the button.
Not necessarily, because a lot of there's some of the big time. The buzzword is red pillars. A lot of them are not having such a great time in the last month or two. They're getting socked in the jaw for some of the nonsense that they're doing. So because at the end of the day, I'm all about all of us, not men, women exclusively. I'm all about all of us becoming a better version of ourselves professionally, whether it's in a business, whether it's as a freelancer, whether it's as a gamer. As long as you're being productive and we're making better strides to be bet owners, investors, being able to really move like bosses around here. If you about that life, I'm with you on it. I'm with you 10 toes deep.
Right.
Because we're about progression. Okay? Whether progression in the mind, progression in the body, progression in the spirit, and definitely progression in the ching in the pockets. Because I'm all about personal economy. I'm all about personal economy. And I'm all about personal responsibility too. Because excuses don't put money in your pocket. So
okay, you're right.
And I know there are mental challenges that people have, because I know that's a sector of the men that are not as productive as they're sure they would like to be, and that needs to be addressed, because unfortunately with us it may be in the last maybe 15 to 20 years that area has gotten the type of attention it really needed, because we used to ignore it. Oh no, there's nothing wrong with you, because you can't physically see that there's something wrong. That doesn't mean the mental issues aren't there. So
okay.
That is also a sector of the population that if we're not careful, we don't treat with the we don't give the proper treatment and the proper grace. But
Mhm.
outside of that, I don't give grace to lazy people. I don't care what you do or what your gender is. Lazy is lazy is lazy. I ain't got no excuse for no kinds of people.
Well, I'm so glad you said that because we're about to share a TikTok video of an Anglo-Saxon man that has some things to say. So let's go ahead and take a look.
Oh Lord.
Let me know if the audio is down, guys, but here we go.
If you haven't moved out of your parents' house by 25, you're a failure. And the reason you're a failure isn't because you still live at home, it's because you've never even tried to move out. There's more merit to moving out on your own, messing everything up, and having to move back in with your parents than never having moved out in the first place. If you're still living at your parents' house at 25, you've probably been sitting back hesitating on something for the past 2 or 3 years. Oh, once I get X amount in my savings account, then I'll move out. Oh, once I finally have that dream job, then I'll have enough income to go start my own business. Issue with staying at your parents' house is you have no responsibilities, no monthly bills to pay, no commitments. There's no ticking clock at all. You're constantly living in a state of limbo because of how comfortable you are. Oh, dude, I can't wait to start my own business. I can't wait to move to Manhattan and get my dream finance job. You're telling your friends about your goals, but you're doing absolutely nothing to go chase them. But then the second you move out on your own, even if you can't afford it, you have bills to pay, you have to make rent every month, your back's against the wall and the pressure's on. The business you thought about starting, you're going to start on day one when you move out. The dream job that you said you're going to apply for the past 6 months, you're going to apply for on the first day you live on your own. And then you're either going to look back in 6 months and say, holy shit, my life has changed forever. I have my dream job. I have my dream business. I'm good. Or you're going to say, well, time to move back in with mom and dad because I tried it and I failed and I learned a lot, but at least I tried it. So if you've been sitting at home waiting to pull the trigger on moving out of your mom and dad's house to get your own place or move to a new city, just do it, because the worst thing that's ever going to happen is you have to move back in at home with your parents, judgment from some friends, and move on with your life.
I mean, listen, I mean,
Well, he said that with his whole chest. Woo, baby.
girl, his whole little Caucasian chest. Let me go ahead and give him because I was like, he's speaking really boldly. Okay,
Ooh.
sir. He gave everybody a little smack, smackety smack. But he's right, because at the end of the day, it's gonna be a little bit of embarrassment and oh, it looks like we got an OG in the house here. Hey, Char Willie.
Hey, Willie.
Thank you so much for coming by. We meant to come on last night, but girl, it's been a long week. Okay. 25, they just finished their master's. You mean what, master's degree?
Possibly.
Yeah. But again, I mean, do y'all even really have to go as high as master's? Because I think unless you have a career trajectory in mind, why are you getting a master's? Unless it's a personal pursuit.
No. Some industries it doesn't get as lucrative until you get to your master's.
I think that's crazy.
Psychology is one of them.
And that's crazy too, because honestly speaking, how much do they even make? Because are we talking therapists or psychiatrists?
Therapists.
Okay.
Psychiatrists, of course, the money is different because you have medicine included in that. The money is going to be.
Yeah, that's touch and go. So even there, you still have to negotiate. You still have to think about what the numbers are. You still have to say how much I'm paying for my education against how much I'm going to be charging, even in 5, 10, 15 years. These are still thoughts you guys have to have. You know what I mean? It's like we still have to think about, you got to offset the cost somehow because you're going to have to pay those student loans back unless you get grants and scholarships and stuff and all that good stuff.
NC Worker did say something very poignant. Said sometimes people will say nothing is wrong with them because of pride and or because of people not caring or knowing someone's situation. I get that, and I give credence and grace for that because people say, "Oh, nothing's wrong with me," when you're over here taking bipolar meds.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
so let's talk
definitely wrong there, and you gotta make sure that medication is regulated, or we could have some other problems. So yeah,
that's facts. And really, a lot of people. I'm gonna say this and not elaborate too much, but a lot of people are on medication, and unless you really know what to look out for, you're not gonna know. But a lot of men and women are on anxiety meds. They're just on these things that are altering who they are as people, which makes it really hard for them to cope, you know.
Yeah.
But I wanted to kind of pivot into this because I showed that TikTok video because we were talking about men not moving out. Okay, Shelly, every man that I've met here in Virginia, with the exception of one, lives with someone else, be it their parents, be it roommates. I don't know any men here that are living on their own,
Except for one.
except for one. He was a nutcase.
Oh, Boo Boo Kitty. Now, I'm starting to sound like homegirl from that show. Boo Boo Kitty, how old are you? And what do you do for a living? And what are you doing with yourself? And what are your ambitions, if you have any?
Well, I'm so glad that you asked about the ages because I know you guys saw it. We're going to go ahead and dive in. Are you ready to dive into this article?
Why, sure, darling. Why,
Okay.
sure.
So let's think about this logically, though, because if 25 to 55 are out of the workforce choosing not to work, these are men. It would stand to reason that some of them are being supported, right? So let's find out who is
By
supporting.
who?
There we go. Let's talk about it. All right. So I'm going to take Shelly and I off the screen here. A third of men under 35 live with their parents, but more young women move out. Is that a shocker to anybody?
Nope.
So this says here that the cost of living has put independent life beyond the means of many young adults who are delaying buying property and starting a family. Honestly, I don't think it's just even that. They're just delaying moving out, period, just to be.
Well, we
you
also
know.
have to factor into the fact that housing prices have skyrocketed in the last 10 years, too.
Exactly. And let me come in close. If y'all, okay, because it's showing me that 90 y'all are watching right now, and I was gonna say they're dropping off randomly because YouTube is showing different people different ads at different times. So I just wanted to clarify that for you. But so y'all, here's my thing. Who the hell said you moving out of your parents' house to start a family and buy property? Half of people that move out are going to buy or get an apartment. We ain't going to buy no damn property straight out of our parents' house. What the hell?
Some people, there's a few people that do because their parents helped them to buy it.
Girl, you
or
just
they
said
have saved up their coins to buy it. Those are the diligent few.
That's what I'm saying. We're not talking about the people, you know what I'm saying? This headline was already wrong. Talking about many young adults are delaying buying property and starting a family. Bro, everybody's delaying that. Like nobody leaves their parents. Like, and when I say nobody, like I said, it's because a minority of people typically leave their parents' house and can already afford a house. That doesn't happen.
The prices is high, honey. You got.
That's what I'm saying.
You got to move to the country to afford a nice house.
They just BSing, okay? Because I know for a fact, like the people that I know that have homes right now, each one of them knew somebody that got them a deal, or they're doing the owner, sell by owner. They're not doing anything with the bank.
Well,
so
they copped that thing about 10, 15 years ago.
No, I mean, I have a friend that did it literally like a few months ago, but it's like, but you got to be diligent, you got to be diligent. Yeah. Okay. I know NC Worker said something here. Some men have been conditioned to think or be that way. Listen, men have been under a lot of conditioning. So I'm going to go through this article here and we're going to talk about one more thing before we actually cut out tonight. So, all right, let's talk about this real quick.
Okay.
So it says, excuse me, guys, a third of men under the age of 35, are still living with their parents. Okay, we talked about that. It says the number is a high record for any year outside of the pandemic. Anyway. Analysis by the ONS found that in 2023, 33% of young men, an equivalent of 2.2 million people, still lived in their parents' home.
Wow.
The only year that saw a higher portion was 2021, when the figure hit 34%. The first 4 months of the year were under lockdown, and during the pandemic, many people changed their living arrangements and moved back into their family home. Now, that's understandable. It says the figures for young men are in stark contrast to women of the same age. In 2023, less than a quarter, that's 22% or 1.4 million young women were living in their parents' household. So the girls, we just go off and be on our own. Like we throw caution to the wind, okay? In total, 28% of young people were estimated to be living with their parents. And then it shows here the figures highlighted in this graph right here. They highlight the growing trend for young adults to stay in their family home. So obviously, COVID is the top blue mark here. Of course, that skyrocketed. But before that, I'm sorry, the boys were being coddled. That's the middle blue line right there. It's always been higher than females.
Wait a minute. They were being what now?
They're being coddled 100%.
Uh-oh.
I know. And I wish that was something that I could lie about, but I can't because men typically are coddled. Now, they're not necessarily coddled by their fathers. They are coddled by who?
Mommy.
Exactly. Because just genetically speaking, boys and men are more attached to their mothers. Why is there a term mama's boy? Have you ever heard the term mama's daughter? Mama's girl? You've never heard that in your life.
You're a daddy's girl.
Exactly. So it's always the opposite sex or opposite gender parent that each person gravitates to. And that's just nature. That's not really anything, I don't think it's odd or anything. You're drawn to the opposite,
It's the dysfunction that it sometimes breeds that becomes a problem.
Right. And I think it's when the adult sons get to stay home. I do think that it does create some arrested development. I have dealt with some clients that I think struggle with that. I can be honest because I'm not saying any names, but I do think that arrested development is definitely a thing. But I will also say none of these men are hard up for a date either. It seems like women tend to love them, but that's about as controversial as I'm going to get here. I'm going
to wait before you go any further. Can you put this back on the screen for a second, please?
Hold on. Okay, what's up?
I'm going to say this, and I don't want to offend anybody.
Oh, crap. That means she about to offend y'all.
If you're still living at mommy's house and you don't have a concrete plan, I don't mean you have some thoughts in your head. If you don't have a concrete plan on how to be on your own and have money saved up or have tangible movements towards being on your own as a young man, and there's no there's no other extenuating circumstances blocking you from being an independent young man, as in you open the keys to your own door and nobody else has to be home for you to be able to pay your bills on your own, you have no business being in a intimate relationship. I'm sorry.
Epic fail. Epic fail.
Sorry. Barring some other, don't no. See, Charwilly, that's the foolishness that I have no tolerance for the nonsense. That's the nonsense I'm talking about. Why are you not aspiring to handle your own business? There's another YouTuber that has another phrase that she uses when she's referring to that. But why you as a young man, barring any mental or any kind of record where it's going to stop you or hinder you. That doesn't mean anything stops you. It's all in how you use the obstacles you have in life. Either you work around them or you build over them, or you can sit there and just let it stop you and you're waiting for somebody to save you. No, you don't want to be saved. But at the end of the day,
don't save them. They don't want to be saved.
I'm going to say this. I expect, especially at my age, I'm Gen X. I really could. I wish you would. I expect I expect young men to be responsible because that's part of being an adult. I expect young women to be responsible. And nobody's barred from being an adult. Yes, adulting can be ghetto at times, but we all got to do it. Might as well be you.
Right.
So there's no, you have no business being in the dating market, and you have to depend on somebody else to put food on your table so you can eat. Take care of that first. Handle your own responsibilities first before you go trying to pick up some more. I'm just saying. Okay. End of rant. I'm sorry, you have some comments.
Like I said, it is what it is. Oh, y'all talking. I ain't seen this one before. David Parsons. Okay. Hi there. Welcome to the channel. I haven't seen you before, but welcome. Happy Saturday. Because I'm saving $2,000 a month, living at home, lived on my own for 10 years. Rent stole all my money. Well, David Parsons, without telling us exactly where you live, what part of the country are you from? What region? Also, no need to justify why you live at home. But again, maybe you're the exception, because I do think if you move home with a plan, maybe you have a financial coach and you already have a plan in force, because you're going to need that. I wouldn't recommend just doing this on your own. I'm just going to save money. Okay. What are we saving money for? What is our time frame?
What's the action plan?
Exactly.
What are you going to be doing?
What part of the country are you going to move to once you save this money? Like, are you dependent upon your job right now? Because what happens if you leave and, stuff kind of doesn't go the way you thought it would go? So as long as you have a plan, I totally agree with what you're saying, but that's our point. You have to have a plan. Don't be a NEET. What did you say a NEET is? It's NEET, but what's the acronym?
Not in education, in education and something in technology.
Okay.
Not in education and oh geez, let me make sure I do this right. Hold on.
Okie doke.
NEET.
All right, we'll stay on David Parsons for a minute, and then we'll get to the next person too.
Hold on. Let me make sure I get this right. Not in education, employment, or training or technology, depending on what acronym you want to put to it.
Okay. And like I said, David, honestly, 2,000 is a great amount to be saving. I'm going to be honest with you. So that's why I'm not even going to hold you with what you said. But as long as you have a plan, I mean, stacking money is great, but I'm going to tell you, like, you already probably know this from watching the channel. Stacking money, especially if you're stacking it in the bank, you're not doing anything but contributing to other people's mortgages. You're basically funding their mortgages with your 2,000 that you have in your checking, your savings, your money market, whatever it is. They're using your money as collateral for whatever loans they're putting out. So you have to decide for yourself when you want to jump into that game, as long as you have a
short term, he has a plan to use it to gather some assets or to,
absolutely.
To establish himself outside of, his parents' home. I am proud.
For sure.
You have a plan, as long as that's fine.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. That's why I said, like, for me, I'm not about dissing men, because men are the majority of my client base and they're the majority of the people that watch my channel. So I'm never going to tell you don't move back home. My thing is move back home with a plan. That's it. And if you don't have a plan, don't be mad about it. If you don't have a plan, wear that loud and proud and be happy that you're not doing nothing with yourself except saving money. It's okay, but do something with it, because what's the point of saving it if you're not going to use it? So, okay, what's this person say? IPX3 broken. DEI and marriage laws against men plus young women make more money in the same job as men in 2024. What women are you talking about that make more money? Because
No, he's adding up. Keep adding up.
So I'm going to start from the beginning, because Credit Solutionist has to reread sometimes. I am not a college graduate. DEI, I'm saying it before they do. So DEI plus marriage laws against men plus young women. No, he did say that he or she said young women make more money in the same job as men.
Plus
in 2004.
2024 plus.
2024, right? I don't think that's a true statement. So plus housing prices. Okay, that's great.
Plus,
Housing prices are high. Women having babies when has that been different? Women have been
women
having
having
babies with
babies with
losers all the
losers.
time.
What do you mean there's nothing for men to work towards?
That's what I'm saying. Like, Shell, no, I don't agree with this at all. Except for the women do have babies with losers. I agree with that.
Well, plus all of those things has nothing to do with you having your own personal responsibility. Working towards what? You have to work to facilitate your own personal economy. That all of those factors have nothing to do with you.
Oh, wait, he said, hold on, he or she. I think this is a man. I feel like this is a man. But
It doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman. None of those factors, all of those factors have everything to do with what everybody else is doing.
Yeah, see, this is a dude. I knew it. A dude with a chick avatar. Okay, I'm not spending $2,500 on rent to prove to a strange lady. Okay, now I get where you're coming from. And this is where you and I differ, Shelly, because to me, I'll dialogue with this person. So I understand what you're saying, where you're focused on the social connotation. To me, I'm gonna say it and be done with it. You're too focused on your ego. You have a large ego, and it may take somebody that you know, like, and trust to make you understand that. But saying you're not spending $2,500 on rent to prove to a strange lady that you're a man, what strange lady are you talking about? Number one. And then number two, nobody's telling you to rent to prove socioeconomically that you are somebody. The thing is, you rent because you choose to. You rent because you have a plan for the future. It's not necessarily that you're doing it to prove a point. You may be doing it because you came from an abusive household. Your parents might have abused you, so you can't go home and live with them. So yeah, you do have to rent. Your job may have moved you across the country or across the world. So yes, you do have to rent. So it's not about proving something to someone. So I'm just saying that your mindset might be focused in the wrong direction, because that's not what we're saying. And if
that was never what we weren't talking about it. You're doing it because of a girl you're trying to,
and not saying that you said that we said it, but
that's not where that was going.
That's what I'm saying. Like you're kind of one dimensional.
Being an independent adult has nothing to do with anybody else besides you.
Not at all.
Focusing on all the other factors in the world has nothing to do with you handling your own personal responsibility. And I'm big on accountability. And I'm big on personal responsibility. That has nothing to do with impressing a young lady. And if that's the focus of you being on your own, then you definitely need to do a mindset check, because that's not
right. That was very ego driven. It was like, that's not even the right. We didn't even mention that tonight. No. It's not proving anything to anybody. Correct. It's doing what's best for you. So correct. If not spending $2,500 is best for you, leave it at that. You don't have to add the extra prove I'm a man. That's how I know your mindset is maybe, I'm not going to say wrong, but yeah, it just needs to pivot a little bit. It's not right, because it's not about that. Or you are consuming the wrong content if that is your belief system. Like, no, we don't move out to prove something. We move out because we want to be. I want to live alone.
Freestanding adult. You don't want to live with your parents forever. Like,
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I'm not laughing at you or nothing, but I'm just saying, like,
no, it's not. No. Like, it's just the mindset is very interesting.
Okay, I think we are too quick to push kids out of the house. In a healthy situation, staying home and building a strong foundation is great. It is, but that could be a cultural thing too, because in America, I'll be honest, I don't know the exact numbers, but it kind of seems like from what I've read so far, it's like 50-50. And then you throw in the pandemic on top of that, it shifted the numbers a little bit. Myself personally, I never wanted to stay home. Like from the time I was a young teenager, I never foresaw, I'll be 18 and I'm going to stay with my mom forever or until I get a house. No, that never crossed my mind. When I got my first paycheck, I was like, I'm gone. Oh, you mean I just have to save some of these for like the next 6 months and I can be gone and I can eat pizza when I want and have donuts when I want and go to bed when I want and walk in and out of my own house when I want?
Independence.
Woo!
Okay. Exactly.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
And Carla, I wanted to add to that too, and I get that. We're too quick to push kids out of the house. Not
I'm gonna step
necessarily.
away for 1 second, okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Not necessarily. I think in a lot of ways, if you are already training that child from their preteens and teenagers about life skills to be able to handle them, they have to start learning about managing their allowance, saving up for things, having them understand that when you get to this age, these are the things that you're going to be dealing with. Do little experiments with them, letting them know, okay, well, here, I want to show you, I want you to sit down with me so you can go through what mommy or daddy has to pay in bills this month. And this is the amount daddy has in the account. Yeah, like sit down and start teaching them how to be responsible adults. And not that we're pushing them out, but there are some people that prepare their children to be adults. That's what the ultimate goal of a parent is to raise responsible adults. And sometimes some parents think they're supposed to continue to pander and continue to baby adult people into their adulthood, and they're supposed to train them to be responsible adults. And if that happens, then when they do leave, they're not leaving, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. I'm going to say something. I was in my 20s when I moved out, but when I moved out, it wasn't that I was moving out completely clueless. I was already helping to pay bills while I was there in my early 20s. I was already helping to pay light bill, part of the rent, part of the utilities, contributing to groceries. So paying bills was not something that came strange once I was on my own, because I was being trained to be an adult before I left the house. So being a responsible adult is what your parents is supposed to teach you to be, because babying adults is what's producing a lot of these dudes or women. I'm not, I'm not gonna pander to the women per se, because if you're being irresponsible, you're getting this fire just like everybody else. You gotta be accountable for yourself. You gotta be responsible. But it seems like based on the stats, the girls got the right idea and they're out doing their thing. What are the boys doing? There's some more comments here. So
I'm gonna put this on here right now, because here's the thing. We're gonna talk about what we need to talk about. A third of men under 35 live with their parents, but more young women move out.
okay,
Is that not just what you said?
correct.
More women move out because women are not coddled by their mothers like men are. And with the rise of single parent households, it is the woman that leads the house. So the daughters typically leave, because two grown, big old women in a house, I'm sorry, but at some point it ain't gonna work. I'm sorry. Now, that is a cultural thing. It is a familial thing. It is different across the board.
Sure.
Because I do understand, Latino, Asian, whatever, they do things a little bit differently. So we're not accounting for that, y'all, but maybe I'm speaking from
experience.
Okay, because I love my mama, but I was like, "Whoo, girl,
Time to go."
I gotta go." I like having my own keys. Okay, but I still had the keys to my mama's house. Okay, still.
But you don't live there.
I was still roll up on her. Okay, okay. So PDX, paying my student loans off. Like I said, if you have a plan, if you're doing something productive, no shade at all.
No shade. Mm-hmm.
You're talking to two consultants, so we're not insulting anybody. It's like, no, we're just, hey, you think this way, maybe try this, and this,
Mm-hmm.
That's really all we do. So, okay. So Carla J says, I'm thinking of one of my nephews who stayed at home till 25, moved out with a 50% down payment on a nice house in Los Angeles. Congratulations to your nephew. If he moved out at 21, he wouldn't be able to be exactly.
See,
So
he got a plan and he executed it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's
Very
what we're
proud of him,
talking
though.
about. Yeah, that's exactly what we're talking about. So, and that's right. Babying an adult
I have
is
a
not
problem with
okay. That's not okay.
I got a problem with that.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, yes, it could get so much more controversial. Like if I was a social commentary channel, I would talk so much about so many other things, but we're not doing that. I'm sorry, y'all. Listen,
No,
I still got to get clients. Okay.
There's too much of that, to be honest.
So, but after talking about this stuff on this article, like I said, a third of men under 35 are still living with their parents. Do you feel, as Mentor Shelley, the career coach, that these men are being enabled?
In some situations, absolutely.
Okay, so it's not just a total, like everybody's being coddled and all that. It's not a blanket type thing. It's not all inclusive. There are different variables. Okay.
There's different variables to all of it. Now, the people that's coddling them, I need to have a conversation with you. Why are you doing this? All you're doing is delaying the inevitable. Because if something happens to you, what do they do now? What do they do?
Right.
Are they going to what? Become somebody else's problem?
Right.
They're going to have to learn.
And I'm wondering whose problem they become, because I kind of feel like they do become someone's problem, but it's kind of a toss-up here because we talked about it a little bit earlier about what some of the issues are and why we think this is happening. We know that mothers coddle sons. Okay, fine. We know that a lot of men are not going into trades right now, and they're also opting out of college. So they really are unskilled, and there are those needs that you talked about, right? They're not getting certifications or degrees or anything. So they're essentially just existing. And maybe
who's feeding them?
That's the thing. So it's like,
who's sheltering them?
Who's doing it? Because I do feel that it's partially their parents, but I also feel that some of these people are those folks that got the unemployment for a little bit, because they maybe had one little funky job. Well, I shouldn't have said that. They had one, I'm sorry. They had one little job and then they got some unemployment during the pandemic. That's great. But I do feel like there's a sector of society that does coddle these men, because let's say they're getting unemployment, right? And what about those people that just go to the interview or just do the bare minimum just so it looks like they're trying, but they're not really trying? Is that something that they're doing purposely, or is there something uncontrollable, like a mental situation, a mental health deficiency that's going on? Like, what are your thoughts on that? Are they to blame?
If there's mental issues going on, like clinically you're taking medication for mental issues,
right,
or there's some depression going on and you need to be treated clinically, or you need to be treated from a mental health perspective, that I understand.
Okay.
And that they need some additional support and resources. That is definitely, that's understandable. Now, if you just are dedicated to being lazy, if you're just dedicated to being a bum,
now what's a bum? Can you define a bum?
Bum, like you don't. This is what, in my honest opinion, I think needs. That's the rebranded label for a bum.
Really? Okay, expound on that. I'm pulling up our next article, but
you're being a bum. You're not contributing, you're not working, you're not being productive, you're not trying to achieve some form of a goal to put yourself in a better position down the line.
Okay.
You're a bum. So this is another cute way of saying you're a bum.
Dang.
Not in education, employment, or technology, or nothing. You're not doing what you doing, boo kid.
You didn't have to go that hard. Wow.
I'm sorry. You a bum. Because, so if you're not working, if you don't have money coming in, whether you're getting, barring any mental issues, right? You don't have money coming in. How are you eating? because food costs money. The roof over your head,
Right.
that costs money.
It
The
does.
lights you using to play them video games all day long and not doing anything. I'm not talking about the video game people that actually make money. I'm talking about them because they're productive. They bring in money. That is on social media, making all the comments and have all the time in the world to go back and forth with people and be doing things unproductive and being negative online for 10 hours at a time. You have all the time to do that, but you don't have time to look for a job.
Mm-hmm.
How are you eating? Who's paying for the electricity that you're wasting to do all of that?
Okay.
Who's paying for the water to wash your tail? Who's buying the soap to wash your tail? Because if it's not you, because you ain't got no money.
Right.
Why? How are you living? Somebody else is subsidizing your foolishness. Why are you as a grown adult not doing something about that?
Well, Caleb Hammer has some input. Keep going, girl.
Why are you not contributing to your own personal care? Why? Barring the other issues we just discussed, because I know somebody will come back and say, "Why she said it like that?" I want to make sure you address the fact that I know that there are mental issues and things that contribute to that. I'm not talking about y'all. I'm talking about the ones that choose to be. I'm talking about the ones that choose to be lazy bums.
Yeah, we cover all facets. That's why I said I could tell you something controversial, but then we gonna back it up. So it's not about making nobody feel stupid. That's the difference between us and a lot of other panels that people have. But let's listen to what Caleb Hammer is going to say to this guy real quick, because you bring up a great point, Mr. Shelley.
Mm-hmm.
Fair use.
You're living at home. You're like 40 now. What's the most you were ever making? Was it 50K?
Yeah.
Well, what's even your goal?
Short-term goal to get my parents' house, of course. Long-term is to actually be able to buy a house. I just have issues like a BPD. That's borderline personality disorder.
See a professional.
I've tried. They don't know anything about that. I went to 3 different places. They said, we don't know enough about this disorder to help you.
You went to 3 different places.
I'm limited on what I can do in that area. I have to travel, not have the money to travel.
What's the name of the town?
Denison. It's like an hour north of Dallas.
Okay, you can go to Dallas, right? Dallas is a huge metro area.
The line.
Gas and time, which I don't have much of.
But if this thing is controlling your life, I think gas and time.
Plus
you ain't got no job
or whatever. That's expensive.
No, of course, absolutely. But
I could not afford to get gas to get here today.
Okay,
so I
that makes.
I'm sorry, I had to pause that. He a damn lie.
No sense.
Yes, it does in my
that
head.
Makes no sense. You live at home.
What's up?
Wait, let him cook.
Let him cook.
Home. So where's your bills?
That's a good question.
Do you have a good answer?
I eat out all the time. Because I don't cook at home. I don't talk to my family.
Why?
I just stay in my room.
Really?
I stay in my room, go to work, come home. That's all I do.
That doesn't sound like much
I
of a
feel him
lie.
on that part.
You're living at home. You're like 40 now.
Listen, I feel him on that. That go to work, come home. I feel him on that. But
he working at least.
My God. That's just somebody that honestly needs a consultation, because he's spinning his wheels, and I can absolutely relate to what he's saying. But at the same time, it's like, I believe he said at the beginning that he lives at home. Let me go back. Hold on, y'all.
I said, please, let's play that without our commentary, because I was like, oh.
Well, girl, I'm trying not to get demonetized. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta interrupt it a little bit. All right, hold on. Let's go back.
You're living at home. You're like 40 now.
Living at
What's the most
home.
you were ever making? Was it 50K?
Yeah.
What's even your goal?
Short-term goal to get my parents' house, of course. Long-term is to actually be able to buy a house. I just have issues like a BPD. That's borderline personality disorder.
See a professional.
I've tried. They don't know anything about that. I went to 3 different places. They said, we don't know enough about this disorder to help you.
You went to 3 different places.
I'm limited on what I can do in that area. I have to travel, not have the money to travel.
What's the name of the town?
Denison. It's like an hour north of Dallas.
Okay, you can go to Dallas, right? Dallas is a huge metro area.
That takes gas and time, which I don't have much of.
But if this thing is controlling your life, I think gas and time.
Plus the cost to go to the therapy or whatever, that's expensive.
No, of course, absolutely. But
I could not afford to get gas to get here today.
Okay,
so I can afford like
that
extra.
That makes no sense at this point.
Yes, it does. In my head,
that makes no sense. You live at home, so where's your bills?
That's a good question.
Do you have a good answer?
I eat out all the time. So I don't cook at home. I don't talk to my family.
Why?
I just stay in my room.
Okay.
Really?
Stay in my room, go to work, come home. That's all I do.
That doesn't sound like much of a life.
No, it's not.
Okay, got it. I just needed to confirm, because I'm like, I picked that clip because he said he lives at home. So he lives at home. He only goes in and out. He goes to work and then goes into his room and eats takeout. So, to me, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think that any man in his right mind would live a life like that unless there was something else going on. But what are your thoughts on that?
The resistance to going to Dallas to find out what's really going on is giving him the excuse to remain in his rut because he likes the rut that he's in, because it doesn't require much action. And because of that, he doesn't feel like he can do anything else, which is bogus.
Facts. Now, the only thing I will say is that when you are in that, I think he's somebody that's kind of depressed, but also
I would say probably lean more towards that. I'm not saying he doesn't need treatment. Let's be clear.
Yeah.
But he needs to find the right therapist that understands how to treat him, and he needs to make the effort to find the right type of therapist.
Yeah.
And in your small town, that's not going to happen. Okay?
And we don't know what the guy does for a living either.
He does work.
Yeah.
And apparently driving an hour away, you have a car. You driving an hour away is a way more difficult task than being in this never-ending circle of nonsense. So,
yeah.
And you don't necessarily have to drive anywhere. There's an app called BetterHelp. You can find therapy online.
And you know what? I can't speak for them, and they are not a sponsor of this video, but I've heard good and bad, but I guess that's with any company.
I've used BetterHelp. It's just if you don't like the therapist you're using, you can use a different one, and there are other apps.
Well, you better get like Tony Gaskins, tell him to send you a check. We ain't mentioning the name one more time unless you're getting paid. We ain't saying nothing more. Girl,
there are other services.
So. BetterHelp, you better send Mentor Shelly a check. All right, hold on, sister, because this is what we got to talk about this real fast. So here's the reason. Let me come in close, and then we're going to wrap it up. So here's the only reason that I bring this up. Credit Solutionists, again, many of my clients are men. The majority of my clients have been men. Married men, single men, men living at their parents' house. One common denominator I will say with every man that I talk to, because I'm like, I could literally see their faces right now. The married men, they had a lot of pressure to be the breadwinner because that's how they initiated or started their relationship. They have children, adult males that live in their house, so they feel responsible for these adult men, these neets that you were talking about. I've talked to the fathers of those men. I've also talked to business owners that maybe don't know how to promote, get their businesses out there. I don't know if he's watching right now, but I worked with a nail shop owner, and I said, "What? Get on TikTok, get on Instagram, have your girl start showing the art like that. That's major, and the business will pick up." I also had a guy. Like I said, I talk to guys that always sneak to talk to me, and y'all, that's okay. I'll be a little sneaky link, but just financially, not nothing else. But they never let their wives know that they're trying to get their finances under control because men feel so much pressure to be the breadwinner. So I talk to the guys that have already crossed over into breadwinner territory, but are now feeling bogged down by it and suffocated. I haven't really talked to those guys that are trying to get to that point. They want to kind of make a move, but I haven't met anybody that is a neat. I haven't met one of those. I talk to upwardly mobile men on my, for the most part.
If they're looking for services like mine or yours, they're not in that category because they're wanting to be productive.
Right. So, but what I realized was that there is a subsector of men that don't care, and that's just who they're going to be, because there's always bottom feeders. That's always going to be part of society. It is what it is, because you can't have levels unless you have somebody at the bottom. So what I realized, though, in talking to these upwardly mobile men is that the common denominator is that they all feel overwhelmed emotionally, and they have nobody to just express it to, or they feel that they have nobody, right? Because that's kind of how it starts. They use the credit, and they get into debt because they're trying to get out of that hole. A lot of guys actually use it to buy stocks. They use credit to buy stocks because they think that's like the quick way to get rich and stuff. And they're watching these content creators, And then there's people that invest in real estate. I just talked to a guy a couple of months ago that 21 years old, and he invested in a bunch of real estate, but he lives at home with his parents. But he has all these houses out that he's renting. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So, but he was stressed out. Like, that's why you and I exist, to help these folks. But mental health, that's what I'm getting at. I'm sorry, guys. I go on and on here, but mental health is what I wanted to touch on here, because the male we just watched, yes, it's kind of funny, and Caleb's going at him, and doing his Caleb Hammer thing. Shout out to Caleb Hammer, but part of that is depression, because I think men are builders at heart. I think that men were put here to build things. Like, we were here to nurture. It's a little different now, but there's some strengths that they have, and I think
absolutely.
And I don't know, but would you say, like, when they don't have the opportunity to really live fully in that they do kind of get depressed, and sometimes it's harder for them to identify it
because of the unfortunate patriarchal type of archetype that has been pushed in this U.S. society. That's definitely understandable, but there are resources there, and there is help.
So that's what I wanted to. I'm glad you said that, because of this comment right here.
There is help.
Okay.
It's not just the platforms we mentioned before, but men unfortunately tend to shy away from. You have to go to therapy. Listen to me. Card carrying member.
Yeah.
I speak to somebody every couple of weeks. As much as people want to, oh yeah, everything is peachy keen and green. Everything is not always okay every day, and it's not a woman's thing, and it's not a man's thing. It's a human thing.
Facts.
You understand? And as much as it costs for you to have a nice dinner at TGI Fridays, you can sit down and talk with a therapist.
You can.
And there are some that are specifically catered to men. And it's not the heebie-jeebies. And contrary to popular belief, the boys ain't got to be in your business. And you can do it from the comfort of your home on one of these or on one of these.
That's so true. And there are resources for men.
Yeah.
Joe Breeze, and that's why I'm glad you're here, because there are resources for men. Now, if you are gainfully employed,
check with your health insurance. You might have some free sessions in there.
Can you tell them about EAP? Because maybe he doesn't know about EAP.
Employee assistance.
If money is an issue, tell him about EAP.
Right. You can start off with the EAP program at your job if you are gainfully employed. They usually provide you with a couple of free sessions, and then they'll refer you to therapists that you can either see in person or on the phone or through this. And check with your medical your medical insurance as well. Your medical insurance may have some mental health pieces built into it. My personal medical insurance that I have through my job actually provides maybe like 3 or 4 sessions for free. And then they refer you out. So you can use both free resources starting off at EAP, then looking to see if your medical insurance offers that as well as a starting point. You never know, having that conversation maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 times will definitely help you to know what direction to take next. But there are resources out there. It's just a matter of where you're looking.
Absolutely. And I think also it's important to identify where your triggers are. So if there's someone in your life that you're having trouble communicating with when you try to express yourself, please stop going to that person, because that is really just exacerbating what is going on and exacerbating the pressure that you're feeling. Like, a lot of times when I'm talking to people during our debt consultations, a lot of times what happens with the men is that they are talking to me because they want to know how to approach their wife with this information. And I always tell them, go back to her with a game plan. Don't just tell her that you're in debt. You say, babe, we're in debt, my bad, but here's my plan to fix it, right? That's what you do with that person. It looks like my signal might be going out, so just let me know if I start cutting in and out.
Gotcha.
But yeah, Joe Breeze, there are definitely resources. I think you just have to figure out what type of resource it is that you're looking for. And then we have to find out where you can find that. Because if you're gainfully employed, I'm almost positive that the resource is there. The other thing you can do is try to find men's groups. And as cheesy as it sounds, that may be what you need, because your friends and your family and your barber and whoever can only do so much. And I don't want you talking to a bartender, because I don't want you in there drinking a beer or having a shot while you're getting this advice from somebody that you're ultimately paying, right? In the sense that you're paying them to give you that, whatever that is, the alcohol or whatever. No shade to it, but I don't know. It's just they're
not professionally able to really get you to a place where you need to be spaced in the middle, better mental space.
Yeah. And some of your stress could be because you've been going through your life day to day and just paying your bills, spinning your wheels, and not really being able to sit and focus and figure out what your plan is for your life. I talk to men every day. Well, not every day. Let me not exaggerate. But when I talk to these men during these consultations, that's 100% of the problem. They're literally compartmentalizing everything, keeping it in, and then it's manifesting into other things like buying things and getting into debt. That's what's happening because they're trying to stay afloat. Or they're taking this breadwinner idea way too far. Instead of saying, hey, I can't do this anymore. I need help from June to December. I need you, maybe housewife, to get a part-time job from June to December while I figure this out, right? It could be something as simple as that. And that takes so much stress off of you, right? But it's really just about getting to know yourself better. I am not a psychologist. This is not mental health advice. This is entertainment purposes only information. But that is really what it is. It's just men, for whatever reason, don't believe they have the resources, but you do. You have to get away from what society may or may not say about you, because who the hell is society? Who cares? You make up society, so who cares? Like, if you need the help, you get the help.
Correct.
And Joe Breeze, you're real quiet now, player. I don't know if you're still here, but I want you to do better and be better and whatever. You do have resources, so don't believe that you don't, because you do. And maybe that's why people don't be booking consultations, because they know they're going to get the solution and they ain't ready for the solution, But my name is, but you are looking at two solutionists. So we will not, I wouldn't want you to go another day feeling like that if you truly feel that way. I don't want you to feel that way. Okay, so let's just cover this and then we're done. So men's mental health. I believe this is the one that I wanted to cover with you. Let me just make sure. I think, no, this is a different one. Hold on. Let me see if it'll actually let me do it. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So men's mental health. I only focus on this because June was men's, like National Men's International Health Month or something like that. So we love y'all. Okay. I'm sorry I couldn't get the holiday right, but men's mental health, stigma, treatment, and more. So I think what Joe Breeze was mentioning is more of the stigma side of it. Okay, so let's say, although mental health affects all genders, it is sometimes overlooked in men, most times I'll say, considered a weakness if they are struggling with it or not taken seriously. Because of this, many men find it difficult to speak up about their mental illnesses or be more reluctant to seek medical treatment to help them manage their symptoms. And again, I mean, not saying Joe's one of those guys, but he is, that's literally kind of what he's getting at,
Right.
So it says, according to the National Institute of Mental Health, around 15.1% of adult men are diagnosed with any type of mental illness, and that was in 2017. So I know it's gone up since then. The American Psychological Association reports that 9% of men have feelings of anxiety or depression on a daily basis. So 1 in 3 men took medication because of these feelings, and 1 in 4 spoke to a mental health professional about it. These are private things. You do not have to tell people that you are doing this. So there does not have to be a stigma.
Correct.
Right?
That's not a business.
Exactly. So again, we could see already, I don't even have to read the rest of these stats. You can see there are millions of men that are suffering right now. And yes, I say suffering because you are the only person that's inside of your head every day. So you are suffering. Rumination, repetitive thoughts, struggle, worry, that's inside your head. I'm not feeling it or hearing it. Only you are. Okay, so it gets
Can't worry
deep.
about other people. Can't worry about other
Telling
people.
you, because I don't know. Shelly could be thinking 20,000 things right now. I won't know it because it's in Shelly's head. So Shelly has to figure out how to figure that out. And I have to figure out what's going on with me. And sometimes I don't have the answers, right? So I got to seek other stuff. So it says, what factors can lead to male mental health issues? So let's just go through a few of these. Sexism. It says men who strongly conform to typical masculine norms may be more likely to have poor mental health. Hello, breadwinner idea. That a lot comes with that. A lot comes with that. So trauma. This could include extreme emotional events such as being, I can't say it, but abused, experiencing combat. Veterans, shout out to y'all, or being in a high stress situation regularly. Firefighters, policemen. Look, I'll even say customer service. Forget what you heard. Okay, that's traumatizing in and of itself. Now it says, for example, 65% of men who are R-worded will develop post-traumatic stress disorder. I will not get too far into that, but many more men than you believe have gone through that as children. I will just say that and move on. And they do not talk about it, but it follows them to this day. As a matter of fact, I'm going to come on and say it really quick because I will risk it all. A number one reason that a lot of men online are hypersexual is because they were as children. I said what I said. Let me go ahead. And they never gonna tell you. So let me keep moving. All right. Because again, happens to men a lot more than they will admit. All right. Poor working conditions or a high workload. Back again to the breadwinner mentality. Okay. Work stress and a lack of social support, because you're not saying anything, have been associated with a higher likelihood of mental issues in men. Traditional gender roles. Are you seeing a trend here? Traditional gender roles. This can include feeling pressure to be a provider or societal norms that discourage men from talking about their feelings. This is definitely an American thing, but also in other cultures and countries too, 100%. Childhood abuse, family issues. What were we just talking about? Any detrimental issue that occurs in childhood can lead to an increased risk of mental health disorders in adulthood. And I will add, as the credit solutionist, a lot of the reason men choose women that are combative and argumentative is because your mothers were combative and argumentative. You are subconsciously dating your mothers. All right.
Listen, I'm not going there. I don't have the training or background to make.
Don't even need it. Don't even need it.
I'm gonna leave that alone right there. I'm gonna let you handle that one.
For sure. Live with a man and you'll see. Live with a man and you'll see. So anyway, this is a topic. I know it's tough for a lot of guys because they're not ready for it. But and sometimes it's the messenger, because I know I had a mentor that really focused on this, and I didn't believe him at first. But when I really went backwards in my life, I was like, holy crap, he's on to something. He's on to something. Men marry their mothers. I don't care what anybody says. Or they are attached to women that act like their mothers. They may not be married to her, but there's a woman in his past that he's still stuck on that acts just like his crazy, chaotic mother. 100%. Moving
That's
on.
for men that have dysfunctional mothers.
So. There you go. But remember, we're talking about the men that have the mental issues right now. Okay. So we're not talking about the men that are what you might be thinking right now. We're talking about the ones that struggle. Okay. So loss of work. That's a big one because work is identity for a lot of men. Unemployment and retirement are associated with an increased risk of depression in men. 1 in 7 who lose their jobs become depressed. For your Gen X, you remember the movie Falling Down?
Yep.
With Michael Douglas, right? And that was a white man in that movie depicted. So it happens to every culture, you guys. Separation and divorce, major one. I've seen this a lot as well in my line of work. Often men tend to see themselves as being providers and the one to keep the family happy at the expense of themselves. I'll add that. Depression is more prevalent and more severe among divorced men. So it says here that's different than separation because separation means you can go back. Divorce is final. So financial issues, that's more my territory. Economic factors are a top cause of stress for many people and could play a role in development of certain mental health disorders. Now, I know when I can't pay my bills, I am very stressed out. I cannot sleep. I eat more than I should. So why would it be any different for a man? Why?
You have some that deal with stress on that level. So yeah, that makes sense.
Absolutely. And then finances are a lot like drug use. You do not see it. You don't wear it on your sleeve. It's a very private matter.
That's true.
So I will say that. And I know that's controversial, but I that's something that I will promote until the day I stop doing this business. Financial issues are just like drug abuse. It's
gonna reveal some things for sure because we treat our money is an extension of how we treat or how we handle money is an extension of how we handle other things. So that makes sense.
Oh God, you ain't lying, girl. That hit me in the heart. Okay, substance abuse, last one. So men may be more likely to use drugs or alcohol as a means of coping with mental health issues. Though such self-medication can make things worse in the long run. I'm pretty sure, Shelly, as a person that lives in a certain city, I don't know if you've noticed it, but I've noticed an uptick in recreational drug use among men over the last few years.
That's and it all depends on what sector we're talking about. That's a possibility among certain sectors of men.
And I think too, I'll say this and I'll move on from it, but I think that also because some people don't consider things that are drugs, they actually are drugs. They write it off. So doing a little toke, you say, "Oh, it's nothing." Yeah, no, that's a drug.
Yeah, until the police arrest you. Okay,
that's what I'm saying. So, like, y'all, some stuff we do is still a Schedule 1 narcotic, y'all. So please, just because it's legalized in your state, it is not legalized federally.
There we go.
And that is still drug use because the reason that we say that, and again, we're not mental health professionals. I'm speaking, well, I'm not going to say exactly how I know this, but I will tell you that I understand it feels recreational to you, but anything that alters your mind, you are trying to escape something. And I'll leave it at that. And it is what it is. And that dives into your finances because that money that you're spending on that
could be spent in something more useful and be handled more responsibly. That makes sense.
There you go. That's
a trickle down effect.
Yeah. So that's all it is. So it goes into further like about how mental health is treated and stuff. But that's like way out of our.
No, that's not in the scope. That's not within the scope of what we handle as professionals. That's not in my purview.
So I do have a question for you though, because if you are in HR, you do know the reason that some of these men are leaving their jobs. So do you notice that there's a trend going on like in anything? Is it just they get better opportunities?
Some of them leave because of that. Some of them get terminated because they do stupid things at work.
Okay.
Some of them find better opportunities.
Okay.
Some of them move. Like what with anybody. I don't think it's not because the industry I'm in, it's not universal it's universal across the board. People leave jobs or people are, leaving jobs for the same reasons, whether it be male or female. Some find better opportunities elsewhere. Some find, they've been working on a certification and they finally got a job with using that certification. So they found better opportunities that pay more. Wonderful.
Right.
Or some did something stupid and fell asleep at work and, got caught. Bye-bye, birdie. You're missing for 4 hours out of the 8 or 12 you're supposed to be working.
Is that a mental health issue?
No, that's I didn't get enough sleep the night before and I should have called out before I got fired for doing it issue. So at the end of the day, people, it just depends. I mean, people leave jobs for different reasons, and people sometimes don't tell you they leave. They just walk off and bounce. They don't tell you. They just leave.
That's craziness.
Or they, I don't like the way this person talked to me.
Mm-hmm.
What? Yeah. So yeah.
But then they go home to their mama who tells them what to do anyway, who like tells them to keep their bedroom door open and stuff, and they're like 40 years old.
Okay. Let's wrap it up because you're trying to go into territory I'm not trying to go in.
My house, my rules. But this is why I say the financial piece, we may actually have to talk about that next week. I just thought about that because because I do think the breadwinner in the household, whether it's the man or the woman, that person may be the person that calls the shots, and that could be touchy. But okay, so I put this one back on here because I wanted to close with this and get your opinion because you are a career coach. We talked about EAP, but what are your thoughts about taking mental health days and taking advantage of wellness options with your employer?
I'm all for it. Take as much as you can, and if they provide it, take advantage of it. Please don't waste those.
Right.
They've been placed there for a reason. They're already paying for it. Might as well use a free resource.
Hey, that's true. That's facts. I think also you could, if you haven't done it yet, definitely. I mean, I know you can't tell people what to pick as far as for their benefits and stuff, but I wonder if do you offer that where like, hey, it's open season, Mentor Shelley. Here's some of my goals in life, my whatever. Here's what my job offers. What do you think I should pick out of this group, knowing what you know about me?
I have that health and life insurance license, but in another state.
Okay.
If I had the license here, yes, I could actually sit down with the person and provide them official advice. However, I am not licensed in the state, so that right now would be a no. But based on what you're dealing with, I can suggest the type of plans you may need or what would be more suitable for you financially and otherwise based on the illnesses or injuries that you're dealing with. But that's
because you're just consulting or not even consulting. You're just saying, oh, hey.
There's regulatory agencies that manage what type of information you can give out about insurance because there's premiums attached to that. There are state laws attached to that. So you have to be very mindful of the type of information you give if you're not licensed to do so.
So let's say I give you a document and I say, hi, these are the 10 points on this. Knowing what you know about me, what would be most advantageous? I choose what I want, but you just give me your input. Is that illegal?
A licensed benefits person has to give you that advice.
Okay. That's what I wanted to know. Because I'm like, no, because if they call their mom, that's not illegal.
Yeah, but their mom is not liable if you come back and say, well, you told me to do this. I thought you had benefit. There's liability there. If you don't have, especially if you don't have a license to do it.
Okay. I got you.
You got to be careful.
Now, should men seek jobs that promote their the atmospheres of like a work-life balance? Should they be not just looking at the pay, but looking at the perks that come with that job?
I would hope so. But unfortunately, there's a lot of men out there that I will say does not prioritize mental health when they're looking for jobs. They're not looking for those benefits, and they really should because it is very beneficial to not just men, but to everybody.
Okay. What are
But
men more prone to look at when they decide a job? Like, what do you think in your experience?
money, more not vacations, more perks like the corporate card,
Okay.
especially if they're in certain positions. Um, they're a lot more focused on the dollars in the sense,
Okay.
more so than the other fringe benefits that I encourage people to also use as negotiating tools.
Okay. I
So it just
gotcha.
depends. So it just depends.
All right, I got you. Well, this was more career focused tonight because y'all men got to get your money up before you can even come pay me to have a consultation. So, Mentor Shelly, I'm gonna let you close it out here, but I do think you have some great resources that any men that are watching now or in the replay gang can benefit from. So, what based on our conversation tonight, if someone were watching this, what resource do you offer that you think would be most beneficial for men that
Um,
are,
for men that are neats, that are looking mentally, or for men that are in these positions where they don't have a job and they now want to start looking for one or become more productive. We want to make sure, number one, whatever type of experience you have, you are using the skills, you're using the transferable skills to use that as selling points when you're completing your resume. So we want to make sure your resume is on point. We want to make sure that your other career tools, your cover letters, your professional profile is on point. We want to make sure that what is the career trajectory that you want to take. If you are looking to either for me to help you galvanize what that is, you can go to mentorshelley.com/consultations. I have a career strategy consultation that we will go through. What is it that you want to do now? Where do you see yourself in 3 months to 5 years? To go ahead and communicate that as far as what it is that you want to do from now and what are the steps that you're going to need to take to get where you want to be. Whether you want to start a business, do you want to start offering your services as a consultant, as a freelancer? Do you want to find a job in leadership? Do you have leadership skills to be able to sell you, not sell you as a person, but sell your skills for a fee? Because that's really what we're doing when we do this song and dance about getting a job with an employer. I definitely go through all of those pieces with you. What are the career marketing tools? A career marketing tool is considered a resume, cover letter, and all the ways you communicate with an employer, fostering that relationship initially. That also lands you, when the resume, the job of the resume is to get you that interview. So we want to make sure that we address all of those things in the mentorshelley.com/consultation links. You can go ahead and click and start with the career strategy to get started with that. If you have no resume and if you've never done one and you have no experience whatsoever, let's start you off with a free resource. I didn't give her this clip, but I didn't give her this link. But you can go to mentorshelley.com/resumes to at least have an understanding of how to structure one. So you can do that yourself. That is a free resource that you can garner as well. But outside of that, if you've never been in the job market before, you have no idea, you're fresh out of high school and you have no idea what you want to do when you grow up, go ahead and grab my book, From Clueless Teenager to Consummate Professional, 7 Steps to Getting the Career and Economic Life You Want. That is a book. You go to mentorshelley.com/book. You are able to obtain that book to get your economic life started. It will help you to foster what do you want to do when you grow up and start from scratch. It gives you tools. It is there. You can go ahead and buy that book now online. I will be having a workbook attached to that to be able to help you work through some things. There's some workbook pieces in that book as well. And I'm going to be, working to add some more to that fairly soon. Outside of that, if I'm focusing on my channel right now, Extrad Wives, but this particular live stream was about the men. And I want to make sure that you guys know that I'm here to help you as well. I am focused on trad wives and women at the moment, but I know you guys are in need of getting your economic life together as well. So I have these resources available. And of course, wanting to make sure that you know that I'm here to help you become a better professional, along with Miss Victoria Langford, that is here to help you to get your financial lives together. It is going to start with either getting funds from a job or starting with a business. So go ahead, Victoria, go ahead and get wrap this up for us.
Fantastic, guys. All right, y'all. So I don't know what's going on with the time here because all of a sudden it said it was midnight. I don't know if that's accurate or not because aren't we supposed to spring forward or fall back or whatever the heck you said before we got on here, girl? I don't know.
It's going to do that at 2.
Okay, so oh god, it really is midnight. Okay, you guys, I haven't even had dinner yet, so I'm gonna go do that right now because oh my god, it's been a crazy day. But listen, guys, for my men out there, I am definitely your number one advocate. And unless you've really talked to me or booked your consultation with me, honestly, you just got to know, you got to do it, book it to figure that out, really. But I definitely am a big supporter of men basically being the best that they can be. And I help everybody, men and women, but it just so happens that my main client base is guys. And I want to see men be strong. I want to see men be breadwinners. And whether you're single, married, I don't care what you are, but I want you to be, dare I say, the alpha in your house. Sorry, I do. And at the end of the day, if you need that help and there's something that I can do to help you all with that, whether it's finance or if you just need someone to talk to, you do have to pay for that. Now you book a consultation over at mycreditcall.com. Okay. You can't just be calling me. But I do think there is a way out of this. And I think that if we just shine a light on it and we be objective about it, we will definitely see some progress with the men going forward. So us, all of us women, men, dads, moms, please, let's help these men that are coming up. Or if you know a man that's maybe going through something, just be patient with him, give him an ear to listen. Try your best. That's all we really can do at this point in this juncture. Everybody's going through something, men, women, children, even everybody's got something going on. Yeah. So the only thing we really are responsible to do is be mindful, see it, say something. It is what it is. That's my public service announcement for tonight, you guys. So if you want to talk to me about your, financial future and getting that squared away, go ahead and hit me up over at mycreditcall.com and book your desired consultation. Also, if you need to get something, maybe you can't afford that consultation, but you still want some help on how to get your financial future straight, go ahead and I want you to download, purchase actually where is it here? The 90-day rapid repair mini ebook. Okay. So that is something that I offer. I think it's like $10 right now. So go grab that. Links are in the description. At least they should be attached to this video. Right. And get started, y'all. That's a little something. That's a little teaser. That's a taste. All right. So Mentor Shelly, thank you so much for coming through.
No problem.
Tonight going into Sunday, I guess we kind of spent the night together here. No didn't. But no, I thank you so much for coming through. It was, I didn't know if I was going to make it to a live this week, but we did. So
glad you did. So glad you did.
And thank you everybody for coming through tonight. We saw some new faces. So thank you, Stephanie Aviles, for coming through. I know we had Char Willie come through. We didn't see our boy Still Rocks tonight. We'll catch you on the next one. Samri came through. Thank you so much. NC Worker. We got K Business Channel. Thank you so much for coming through. Yes, book that call with Mentor Shelly because you said you would, brother. Okay.
He's coming through. We're going working together. OCL Sportsman.
Wizard Jones, and you just said OCL Sportsman. Thank you for that. Davis Parsons, we saw you up in there too. Carla J, IPX3 Broken, you came through. You kind of pooped on the stream and then you left, but we love you anyway. All right, it's all good. Hey, nothing a little soap and water can't fix. It's all right. You be yourself, and that's all we can ask for. All right, guys. So check out Mentor Shelly, mentorshelly.com. There's a plethora of services there. Check me out at mycreditcall.com. Go to the Facebook group. All that stuff, I'll make sure it's linked in the description. So, guys, Mentor Shelly and I will more than likely be back to see you guys next week with another polarizing topic, and we keep it funky because we love y'all and we want you to do the best and be what, Mentor Shelly? A better version of
yourself professionally.
That's right. So you guys, my name is Victoria Langford, your credit solutionist. This is Mentor Shelly, your dream career coach, right on over here. And we will see you guys on the next video. Subscribe, like, share with a friend. All right. Credit solutionist, Mentor Shelly.
Out.
Peace out.
Out.